Фантом. Сегодня мы смотрим чемпионат мира. Чемпионат мира Бравл Старс. Так, сейчас я вам в чат кину ссылку Donation Alerts. Не беспокоить.
Привет, моя пупсика. Нихера не помню.
Ну, раньше у них был японский менеджер.
Ладно, не будем.
А как он?
Стрим не будет?
Стрим.
This one means a heck of a lot to our EMEA fans as we look to find our first semi-finalist here. SK Gaming and Zeta Division. Plenty of rivalry, plenty of score to settle in this matchup, Kenny.
It's going to be intense. I mean, this is number 2 and number 3 of EMEA. The only team above them, Humble, who had a little bit of controversy yesterday. Zeta Division had to battle against Crazy Raccoon, who ended up getting revenge on these
играет,
They're
ребят.
a fantastic group of members. They need no introduction. But one that stood out to us at the casting desk yesterday in particular, wow, what an outstanding performance to get here.
Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking he was the latest advance in AI technology. This guy is absolutely unshakable. But the banter gets real once Rama gets a hold of his phone. These guys are legit. And yesterday, Meow, over the course of that series, was often not on Rico duty or really put in a position where he had to be dealing huge amounts of consistent damage over
пока вот так мы
the
сделаем.
course of the game. We normally have a brawler picked up for that purpose, someone longer range or more consistent in output. Meow was stellar. Unfortunately, pulling up a little bit short against Crazy Raccoon. That's a game, you run it back 10 times, it goes 5 and 5.
Could have gone either way, and SK Gaming on the other end. A fearsome opponent, Joker, Yashi, Lana, all of them have taken to the global stage many a time, but this roster in particular has to be noted. When you think about SK Gaming, they run through Lana. When talking with these guys, their strategy, full-out aggression. As Lana so delicately put it in an interview, we are very, very aggressive. Emphasis on very. That's what they do. They power up Lana, let him get in the faces of enemies, and team captain Joker, Yashi on the
Это
other
первый
end.
матч СК, Зета играют сейчас. По-любому Зета выиграет.
Took Lana's role on other teams, right? He was that superstar. He was that high economy, high investment player. Now on SK Gaming, though, he's taken a bit more of a backseat.
Плюс чат, кто смотрит, ребят, пишите плюс чат.
Getting together with Pedro, working out the draft and making
Сегодня
sure
стрим
every
до
SK
12
position
ночи.
is tailor-made to put Lana in a position to succeed. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday. We saw a lot of Rico play over that entire set between SK and Elevate from Joker. Lana was put on a tank.
Это четвертьфинал.
That was high risk, high reward, feast or famine.
Сейчас
If
ссылочка
SK
на
Gaming have
донат
their way,
будет.
they'll be eating all day.
There's one thing I've learned about this SK Gaming roster. Lana eats way more
Если
than
что,
it
кидайте.
doesn't. Oftentimes, so aggressive. It's just a hard thing to deal with, especially in a draft setting. You can oftentimes counter out those
Донат у
tanky
меня
brawlers.
открытый.
It's not that simple with this guy. You really have to adjust your game plan according
Пишите в
to
чат, кто
Team
смотрит.
Captain Joker, also a strong drafter in general. He's a huge part of that dialogue that goes down between the team. It's going to be a tough one to script for Zeta Division.
For a lot of brawlers, Lana's often put in position 3 in terms of the pick and ban. So if SK Gaming are second pick, they get an uncounterable pick for Lana set up. Either way, they try and make those really impactful picks a little bit later on in the draft to set him up. Zeta Division, though, are extremely consistent. This is a team that doesn't have any glaring flaws. I'd say that maybe while they don't see the highest of highs out of individuals like
Сейчас кину ссылку
they
на донат.
really never see them hit low lows like some of these less consistent, more streaky rosters. It's this stability that has paved the way for Zeta Division to be a household name, not only in EMEA, but globally in Brawl Stars.
And it's been polar opposites. Even though they are only 1 seed apart in this region, both had direct tickets to the World Finals. SK Gaming started off the year hot. 0 sets dropped in that top 8. A grand finals win. 0 grand finals appearances for the rest of the way.
Right.
And somehow we're still putting our faith in them. In scrims, in practices, this is a team that I have heard getting a lot of juice from other pro players. Their success rate was really high. And I'm just going to trust in the fact that these guys can deliver on a land setting as well. I almost feel like they're due in a sense. Should Zeta Division be the favorites? Yeah, I think they should. They're the defending world champion. They were ahead in seeding. But at the end of the day, these players are way too talented not to finally grab a marquee win for their career.
And it doesn't matter what kind of year SK Gaming have had. It really doesn't. When we get to a land like this, we always believe there's a chance. But
Первая карта это нокаут.
Stars.com feel like this is Zeta Division's game.
Сейчас убавлю немного.
In fairness, we're pretty split on the caster desk as
Кто
well.
смотрит,
We're headed
напишите
to
в чат.
knockout first. It'll be out in the open.
Вот
A
он,
map where you really gotta think
до
about
3
taking
побед.
brawlers that can operate over water. Taking sharpshooters. Pearl will be pretty hotly contested, but that's been banned straight away for SK Gaming. They don't want to deal with that brawler often offers a deterministic situation late in the game.
And yesterday's #1 most picked brawler is going to be the first selection overall. However, 33% win rate. One thing to keep in mind too in terms of the brawler pool, only 3 sets of maps, but everybody kind of secure in that. Now that we have those settled maps, we kind of know exactly how teams are feeling.
Сейчас скину ссылку на донат.
Success rate not high, but he was played a whole lot.
And the question is, are SK Gaming, even on knockout map, are they angling for a Kenji pick potentially?
Сейчас это даст жару, я чувствую.
Paired with these high-risk brawlers
Анджело
to try
первый
and
матч.
make a play with that shield.
Взяли
But
первый
Angelo
матч
is-
Анджело.
feels like a must-have on this map. He can
В принципе,
operate
я
on the
Грома беру
inside
всегда.
across that water, has extremely high burst damage and high mobility to boot.
I thought Angelo was going to be the first overall pick, considering he was a top 3 ban yesterday. And granted, we did have a lot of knockout, a lot of bounty yesterday. But it's clear that pro players really value him for this game mode. And especially on out in the open, like you alluded to, you need that mobility, the extra space to get around that indestructible wall. Huge difference maker.
So Centerpiece Brawler picked up here for Zeta Division. Now they can start thinking about how they fill the rest of this out. Meg comes in here with a reduction to her maximum range on her primary fire. Recently, she doesn't cover the map quite as easily and will need to play a bit more aggressive in a side lane on a lot of maps. But here, when push comes to shove, Meg having a second life virtually after getting knocked out of the mech, being able to potentially fall back, recover, get back in the mech, means that she's quite difficult to deal with in knockout.
At a professional level, this is going to be your best game mode for that exact reason. You got to deal with her twice, and when you only get 3 lives, having a 4th, if you will, is a big difference maker. Ola making an appearance here. This is going to be an attempt at shredding through this Meg. They need high DPS to bring Meg down to just a measly pea shooter with a tiny pistol. And of course, Angelo, as a sharpshooter with only 1 projectile, not going to do too well into the extra spawner that Lola brings for that super.
This used to be a really common pick for Chaos when he was on this SK Gaming roster, saw it all the time. Obviously, Lola's damage output increases drastically when she has an ego on the field, and she could use Free Flame, for example, to turn the ego into a piece of shielding. And there it is, the Kenji pick. They kind of telegraphed it with a just take at the start. We might expect to see Lana on that brawler. Can SK Gaming, with this composition, run it down?
They're going to put their faith, and I'm sure, in Lanad's hands for that. This is the aggressive flair that SK Gaming bring to the table. I don't know if Zeta Division are going to match it. Not oftentimes you're going to see an identical kind of strategy here. These two teams a little bit different in that front. It's going to come down to 5 seconds here in a tough decision.
Меня слышно? Меня слышно? Меня слышно? Меня слышно? Все, да, слышно. Слышно меня? Все нормально. Все нормально. Все, ребят, мы стримим. Есть что, мировой финал. Бравл Старс. Чемпион. Ссылку для доната кинул. Если она не работает, берите шапки канала, кидайте. Все, матч начинается. СК Гейминг начинает. СК Зета. Сейчас мы... Сейчас нормально.
pistol here, but roll available from Daryl up top. It's a matter of time until Gero starts hitting these shots, especially with the gas encroaching. It's dangerous.
Стрим идет.
Novi just walks up on him.
О, Зета первый раунд взяли.
Can't afford to lose their KT off the bat like that again. Gonna be a reset here. Daryl now on the left-hand side. Lana once
Всё
again
отлично.
diving in. This is gonna be one roll, a stress second.
Ладно, пошлите ММА смотреть.
It's a big shot, a dive in as well this time. Disaster for
ММА
SK
еще
Gaming.
комментатор
Early lead
наш.
as Meow looks to bring him down. Game 1 going to Zeta Division. Remember how we talked about stability?
Все, изи Зета первый взяли. Первый 1-0 в раундах. Начинаем. Сегодня матчи вроде как до 12 ночи идут.
The series in the BSC top 8. One of each of these two. 3-1 Zeta one time, and the other 3-2 SK. We know this is going to be tough.
Те, которые смотрят на ютубе, донаты можете присылать.
Solo again already has to use one charge of that gadget. And all of SK Gaming are forced away. So far, this Kenshin thing has been utterly countered by Novi.
Подождем пока
They're
прогрузится.
hoping for the arc of that slash to maybe catch onto the Daryl reveal him at the very least here, but this is oppressive now for Zeta Division. Kenny, they've taken full map control. Lenar is on the outside looking in. So much pressure being applied by Zeta Division. They're in their spawn and there's no way out. It's going to be a giant robot gatekeeping.
Ну тут Зета заберет, кажется.
To aid Lenar, Joker just trying to keep up with the distance of Meg. Angelo from long distance able to put the pressure, and now they're expanding, moving towards this mid. And they will have an opportunity here to try and strike back. Quietly, Yoshi's been the difference maker for SK. That poke damage on Meow forces Zeta Division back into their own half of the map. And now SK Gaming have a chance to make something of it. Meow barely gets away alive there. Still needs to respect Lenar as he encroaches on the left. Novi's being kept low as well. SK Gaming have good poke damage. Here's Gero throwing the super down. Joker forced to play in the gas for the time being. He's going low. Lenar up front.
Лаги. Сейчас перегрузка на трансляции. Зет взяли. Раунд взяли.
They've simply been better this set. SK Gaming not finding those early frags. They have to find a way to respond here.
Так они до 3 побед.
The long range lane on the right hand end. Middle of map, team captain Joker looking to apply a little bit of pressure. They need to start off here early. They've been in their back spawn a lot of the time. Here goes Lenon. Off to the races. One tap away from bringing Meow down. That would have been so good for them. This composition so solid for Zeta Division. It's not flashy at all, but it is very good at doing what it needs to, which is to stay alive. SK Gaming have scored 0 kills over the course of this set thus far. And that might be a trend that continues.
Давайте пока
Might
версию
get the
сделаем,
super catching up.
чтобы было удобнее смотреть вам. Вам и мне, чтобы было удобнее смотреть.
All year long. It doesn't matter who you're facing off against. Do something you're good
Вот,
at.
вот так
Better
удобнее.
yet, play one of the best, if not the best brawlers in the game while you're doing it. So now we know the comp works, Kenny, but it means they need a fair amount of poke damage early in the round. Yoshi was huge, especially getting that shield over to Lenar when it was needed. 3 supers up here for SK Gaming. Can they put it together? We've got a ego on the field for Joker. That Lola hitting hard right now. Garo's just lurking in his grass too. Yoshi trying to do a scouting report, but he just can't seem to find a point.
Если что, на перерыв мы Donation Alerts настроим. Я тогда сделаю.
Machine gun fire coming out of that neck. Lenar
Тоже, да?
shield on Yoshi. He's trying to dive in with the aggressive
Я просто
caller down
наверх
early. A
смотрю.
roll in from Daryl. Yoshi slowed down.
Не,
Went
тут
through
тоже
useless.
тоже не
Brought to
забирают.
his knees. And a lone Joker is going to have to find a way to clutch this up.
На Америке лучше. Там качество получше.
Just be a little too much to expect. Damage output Lola has. But I'm going to give it to you straight, folks. This is virtually impossible. Joker knows it as well.
Все, Зета 1-0 в серии.
Will concede in sets.
Они даже мне просто не почувствовали, да. И для них это изи было.
Я офигею, если Зета выиграет мировой финал.
I think Zeta Division are happy to leave Kenji open. They may have baited it from SK.
feeling like they had contingency, feeling like they had a composition that could handle it, and they demonstrated that. I mean, Meg, so high damage, Daryl so punishing, especially with that tar barrel. Something we really just glossed over. Makes it difficult for the Nar to actually get to his intended target. Yoshi does not have the damage to deal with these two tanks when they go for him. And with his air division,
Самолайк за ок успех.
no ego available for Joker, which is not picked on prior by Gero in the last one.
The lowest frag for Zan Division had as many kills as the entire roster of SK Gaming that set. That's a statement.
Я, ММА, Кубик, они комментаторы тоже. Мы здесь все чемпионат смотрим, короче. Мяу больше всех урона. И смертей. Zeta Division против СК 35 секунд до начала второго раунда. Напоминаю, до 3 побед они играют. Кто выиграет, проходит дальше в полуфинал. А в полуфинал выйдет всего 4 команды. 4 завтра, 3 матча. 3 матча завтра. Head zone.
We're going to take a right-hand turn in terms of game mode. It's going to be hot zone. This is control. The name of the game is holding that center point and playing it.
Блин, арена у них прикольная, кстати, вообще офигенно. В Финляндии, прикиньте, Финляндии фигачит.
Amber being deleted from the options, I think, is a good thing. But on the left-hand side, since they don't have that first overall pick, you're going to see them tend to pick some of the better brawlers in the game. Mo, Surge, Clancy, all very high play rates this weekend.
Other brawlers we've seen on this map, of course, Sprout, been brought in, block.
Муравьиная бега карта.
Now in dueling building beetles, you can't blow up all of the wall when your opponent's fighting that, which also means that Pan has some utility. You can throw that healing turret down and have it protected, but hard to look past your number one brawler here, Kenny. Gale brought in for Zeta.
He is my favorite, and I regret to inform Brawl Nation that his win rate yesterday was atrocious. 14.3%, and he was tied for fourth most played. That's not a good sign, but as an early pick, it is preventative. You probably know that SK Gaming are looking for something aggressive, something tanky, and the ultimate shutdown to that is the old man on the right-hand side.
We've seen Gale played in side lanes here. Attempts to get outranged a lot of the time, but is able to move up. Twister also very powerful. The locks on
Кэнди вообще взяли.
This time they really telegraphed at the start of the draft, giving Zeta Division plenty of room to play around it. And hot zone in Lou.
Гэйл, Кэнди. Лучше бы Грома, метателя какого-нибудь, тогда вообще офигенно будет.
It's a good pick for the mode. I feel like if you had to tier list the brawlers, though, he would be no means an S tier or even an A tier brawler in my books.
Глубоко закрывай, дайте он были заорал.
Лили. Хотя Лили может контрить этого. Кензи. Гэйл может контрить Лу, и все. Мне кажется, здесь СК Гейминг вот здесь возьмет катку.
That gadget is just absolutely insane. If any brawler in the game has that gadget, they're immediately meta viable. That's just part of it. Once you see your face, she's going to be really aggressive. Obviously, Lily's had a lot of tweaks here and there. Professional level, you'll see her come out every once in a while. So now they've got their aggressive option. This is going to be how they sneak in. I love this period 3 pick.
Ори.
Top 5 ban brawler yesterday, and I feel like he's a sneaky one. People forget about him because of that indestructible wall. Lou's not going to be able to get to him. Kenny's going to have to get some creepy peek shots, sneak around. It's going to take a while.
Вот следующий матч это Хамбл Пионеры. Ну там равно будет прям. Карделиус, ничего себе. Но мне кажется, здесь СК заберет.
They both make use of the Shadow Room as a separate area in the game. Cornelius might be intended here to specifically shut the Lily down.
This is such an interesting dynamic because, like you said, we don't too often at a casual or even professional level get to see multiple brawlers go to the underworld. This is a little bit crazy. Larry Laurie makes this interesting. A lot of differences in terms of draft opinion, but SK Gaming, it's time to wake up, folks. Zeta Division looking to continue their...
Really has nowhere to go. He's able to get Gero as a consolation, but Lenar less focused on capturing this area, more on trying to run down the rest of Zeta Division. He's found himself two, but Novi was able to spend a decent amount of time on the point itself. Gero wants Yoshi, and again, Nalu is down. Lenar can't even fight against this Lily.
Joker ready for the super. A perfect connection as well, but he can't get anything on that.
Вот и все, СК здесь выиграет.
Be happy to take this trade. Also on the right-hand side, and once again, Lenar's going hunting. Navi very close to him. Larry grouped up with him. He's going for the double tag. Has a super available. Not going to use it yet. Joker still at the ready. And now has a hypercharge. A dive in. Slice and dice for Kenji. And Joker's going to tie this up.
He's a problem for the throw on this map. You actually can't contest the point as Fial. You need a teammate to be there, and you can support them with your longer range damage. Joker eventually falls, but Yoshi dancing amongst the snowflakes here, having thrown a super down, getting SK Gaming into the lead. Here comes Lenar, a little bit low, but plenty of targets to choose from now. It's another Laurie that has to be dealt with. Meow is a little bit low. Joker with a jump, dodges the shot, stunned up to the right hand side, and Novi's got his hands full. Pulled now in the Shadow Realm.
Perfect tech by Larry Laurie. Perfect super from Joker. This is the best.
Вот здесь матч равный будет.
Right now, 70% roughly apiece.
Думаю.
Yoshi is back in the fray. Lenon on the prowl, left-hand side. Gero even gonna be dueling. Here comes a double tag. Meow gets connected with ones. Some snow cones tagging him up as well, but it's still Zeta by a narrow margin.
Oh, we see Lenar trying to go to the top side, catches out Meow. Now SK Gaming are catching up. They're in the lead. Joker able to get a super on the Gero, basically rendering the Lily useless for the time being. 94% and counting. Joker and Yoshi stacked up. Here comes Zeta Division with a...
Ну вот, что я говорил, СК взяли.
Now we have a game. Neck and neck here. SK Nation getting loud. This stadium erupting after SK finally claim a game. Zeta Division right there with them. This is more of what I expected to see.
Such an interesting interaction.
СК это, по-моему, германцы, не знаю, немцы.
And the Cornelius. Gero in the Shadow Realm already. Yoshi has to be aware of it.
Потом на перерыве, на большом перерыве мы тогда сделаем до начинали. Чтобы чат видеть и донаты читать. Им самое главное законтрить это Кэнди и Корделиуса. Это все, это фигня просто. Начало вообще отличного у СК Гейминга, до 34-8 в принципе хорошо идут. Извиняйте, но реально трансляция ОГ, потому что нагрузка большая.
Ideally, he'd be in position to try and deal with the other side. Joker with a jump in, it's a trade down, but Nah can't trade this either. Lily was underneath, and now Zeta Division responds.
Great gale force there from No.
Сейчас обновим, подождите.
Hypercharge here for Yoshi. A super stunned him instantly, and it's a carnage sight in the spawn of Zeta Division. SK way ahead.
35, 74, 77, 78.
And a glimmer of HP. Yoshi holding down the fort in the mid. Joker, impeccable defense here.
Ну тут СК, ладно, уступим им 1-1.
Indestructible is down to Joker here. A few more percentage points will do the trick. A dice in from Lenar.
Уступаем, к сожалению, СК. Следующий Бравл был, потом не ограбление, а это заход став и потом баунти. Дай бог, чтобы зато выиграли. Большой перерыв будет, тогда мы сделаем. Да, начинали. Пока все равно никто не смог. Все нормально будет. Играют до 3.
is Joker. This Cornelius so effective, not only countering
Но если СК возьмут, две катки подряд начнет. За этот...
Тогда отлетает.
Yoshi using a hypercharge
Да.
in
А мы за
the
них
division four.
проголосовали.
The fact that SK Gaming had the wherewithal to be able to make a play like that means they were feeling confident and comfortable.
This was an unorthodox draft as well.
Yeah,
To your
I
point,
think
427 DPS from Joker.
Все
team
за это
captain,
болеют.
with a 10-piece. That's a really weird draft, too. I feel like the fact that he handled that so well, it felt like those gadget timings were on point. He was taking down Gale, which is huge, because if he takes down Gale, he frees up who? Lana, the guy they want in the faces of these enemies. If Lana can focus on the squishy Larry and Lori, which is what we saw in those two games, they're playing that strategy to perfection.
That's a nightmare game for Meow. He has nothing to do, really. He knows that there's no one on his team that can really stop the Kenji. Yes, if the Lily can get a 1 versus 1, then maybe. But there was no way Joker was allowing that to happen. Marking Gero all across the map. It's one apiece in this series now as SK Gaming have truly come alive. And with a crowd like that behind them, who knows where this stops?
Early game jitters are out of the way.
Ну-ка, если
And now
бы
we're on to
вчера...
А может и не Жагамага.
Если бы вчера матчи до 12 были, значит сегодня до часу стримим.
Чего?
До часу ночи. То есть вчера до 2 раундов, а здесь до 3.
Ну-ка, до скольки только можно сегодня? До легендарного. Каждый день доступны новые награды. Только
Блин,
до
20 минут пролетели как незаметно.
early on. Makes a lot of sense too. I mean, he's healing, he does damage, it plays a lot into what you want to see as a brawler. And Rico, I think a really good response. Rico is a fantastic brawler in this meta. That hypercharge does so much damage.
Yeah, it's another Joker brawler picked up there, no doubt about it. Gale as well coming in. Again, we saw him struggle to have great impact against the Kenji.
Здорово, здорово, всем привет.
It's a different map, it's also a different context. Gale being able to stun multiple people with super when they're on the back foot, when they're playing defensively inside their own goals, can basically guarantee a goal for your team. It's probably a Yoshi pick here, so once more SK are hiding the Lenar Brawl.
Ooh, and a little bit of Stu coming in. The stuntman on
О, неужели
stage.
Кэнди взяли?
I like this. I think it's a really dynamic pick. It gives you a lot of versatility. You can be aggressive, charge those supers. More supers means more super shots. I feel like this is a pretty good brawler that doesn't have a lot
О,
of meta.
су.
Смотри, сейчас один без голоса.
Стопудово.
Либо сам.
Не, с одним безголовый стул стопудово. Потому что как раз опять кто-то брал там.
They're just going to go for the biggest pad in Brawl Stars. El Primo going to be delivering a punch.
Can strip the ball with that suplex, and also his super has an interrupt component to it. Cover on the ground, and it's generally a nuisance to peel off you. One thing's for sure, this Gale is going to have plenty to do on Pinball Dreams. As, he's going to be trying to push back.
Не, мне кажется, СК здесь
This
проиграет.
is a very aggressive, a very
Думаешь?
in competition.
Нахрена Прима дебил?
SK can't be thinking about how to
Я не
counter
понимаю, что у него в башке что ли эти феды?
that warrant counters.
Ладно, сейчас матч начнется и настроим чат, потому что мне там писали, оказывается, а я
I was
не
going to
видел.
say, you have to deal with the plethora of health points on this other side. And I was trying to rack my brain on what brawlers do you select. Colette, the tank counter of tank counters, is perfect here. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. They could even go with something like push it for a defensive mechanism. I actually don't mind this at all. I think this is going to be a pretty solid pick.
I like pushing a lot. It's going to combine, of course, with Lenar's Super Gale Force in being able to stave off these aggressive brawlers to a Zeta Division with the aggressive comp. SK Gaming want to be on defense here and see how it plays out in our third set.
This is a big set as well.
Начался матч.
Whoever takes it's going to have a lead and be on one set away from making it to day number 3 of the World Finals. Lana starting off on the right-hand side.
have that one goal lead.
Все, ребят, мы все сделали.
Yoshi waits it out. And SK have a chance to attack now.
Все, с кайфом стримим.
El Primo though that stands in their way.
Hero left in the net. Navi.
Если что, я стримлю. Микрофон сейчас отключу я, потому что я пойду сейчас кушать.
So that they can click at a moment's
Извините,
notice. The big
пожалуйста.
playmaker on the other end now has to play defense. Lenon with the first one. Bounce shots
Всем привет, привет. Мировой финал смотрим, есть что, пишите. Пишите в чате, я все отвечу. Все смотрим, лайки ставим. Я перехожу на шорт-стримы, все. Шорт-стримы это мое будет. Все в чат пишут, кто смотрит, кто
Детдом.
смотрит,
Куда мы едем? В детдом.
кто смотрит, пишем в чат.
Где папа?
Изи Зети остается один раунд для того, чтобы пройти в полуфинал.
Зеты проиграли. Зеты проиграли в одно очко гений.
В смысле они проиграли?
Да.
Так у них же счет был.
Все, 7-6. Гений.
Офигеть, 7-6. Напишите в чат, кто смотрит, пожалуйста. Все, ребята, здесь Зета, к сожалению, отлетела. Но Хамбл, они сейчас выиграют 3-0. Пионеры отлетят. Пионеры отлетят. И будет... Получается, в этом году новый чемпион будет. Пишите в чат, кто смотрит. Если что, чат работает, вы не переживайте. Вот и все, Хамбл луки забивает, красава. Завтра тоже будем стримить. Завтра финал, полуфинал и финал, ребят. Завтра будет жаришка. Ай, хорош вольт, босс хорош. Блин, ну босс мог бы взять мяч. Гейл, ультуй. Все, ай, хороша пошла. И тут Хамбл, все, здесь Хамбл 2-0. Сейчас посмотрю, что следующий. Да, Зета отлетели. Следующий Crazy Raccoon играют. А вон там уже будет очень интересно. Crazy Raccoon это бывший чемпион 21 года Zeta Division. Два 0 все с кайфом, ребята. Да? Если что, я в Бравл Старс пока не буду заходить. Потому что там наград еще нет, мне за предыдущие еще тоже не пришли. Так что сегодня стримим до 12 ночи. Да, до 12 получается. Вместе с ММА и кубиком стримим. Завтра тоже так же приходите по 8 начала. Завтра полуфинал и финал. The Final 2024 Brawl Stars Champions. Короче, с этого матча может будет добить 750 с учетом опросов, но там я не знаю, сколько опросов будет. Там вот сейчас после за матч 150, плюс 10, плюс 100 за MVP и еще голосование. Ну тут Хамбл, здесь вопросов нету. То, что все за Хамбл проголосовали. Тут выиграет Хамбл. Тут выиграет Хамбл. Все, дальше погнали с Петей ММА и кубиком стримить. Генерал Газ. Кстати, новые гиперзаряды запрещены в этом мировом финале. То, что игроки еще не успели адаптироваться. У Хамбл ласт пик остался. Они с тренером активно обсуждают все. Все, ребят, короче, официально заявляю, я перехожу на шорт-стримы. То, что горизонталка, это меня надоело. Перехожу на шорт, если что. Без вебки, без ничего. Если хотите, когда финал закончится, мы, ну, чемпионат сегодня, мы можем пойти Бравл Старс немного поиграть. Ну там Хамбл выиграет. Там 3-0 сейчас будет. 3-0. Капец, Зета отлетел. Ха, там чел значок Зеты нацепил, прикиньте. Чемпионат мира раз в году. Вот это вот, мировой. Осенью. Я не знаю, почему они в этом году не сделали скин, а сделали гиперзаряд. Зачем он нужен, я не понимаю. Джин. Пейдал Джина. Second Best взял Дэрила. Джон Картер взял Генерал Гаса. Симантек взял Рику. Босс взял Гаса. Кленси взял Луки. Луки взял Кленси. Мне кажется, здесь победит Хамбл. Все, погнал, родненькая. Завтра также мировой финал. Вот завтра уже финал будет. Это будет вообще тасс. С этого этапа проходит только 4 команды, а с полуфинала проходит только 2. Первое место 400 тысяч, второе место 200, по-моему. Общий баланс 1 000 000. Миллион они собрали со скина фанат Фэнк. Был хоть у пионеров пик сильный, но был Хамбл выиграл. Там чисто газ в соло 9 гемов тащит. Хочешь запусти стрим по Бравл Старс? Не хочешь поиграть? Шортс. Мне остается 50 очков. Ну вот, короче, что мы получаем. Завтра уже будет офигенно. Ну все, тут Хамбл. Пока ничего не было. Все, изи Хамбл, красавцы, поздравляю парней. 1-0 в раунде. Я вот точно не знал, как шорт-стримы стримить, но потом я понял. Я посмотрел видео, как стримить. Все, вот запустил первый стрим. Дурака. Был вот этот second best. Дизлайки. А? Легендарный?
Да.
Делаешь? Не будешь открывать?
Все, могу я просто из системы Старгропа открыть? Блин, я обосрался. Ну,
Yet again, that's going to be the last one of this game. Over the right side, we see a bit of a trade between
не надо было
Brawls over there. Samantha yet to get to a level 2, but
Другому ты вот опять можешь согласись?
Сейчас позову, сколько у меня наград должны. Раз, два, три,
Мне
4,
сразу
5.
легендарный.
А, 15 наград мне должны присвоить. Мне там уже еще 8 должны. 3 за первый этап, 5 за второй. Ой, Гав забрал хорошо. О, Куэнси красавчик вообще. Да ну нафиг, пионеры забирают. Ну ладно, уступаем. А, не, нифига. Все. Ну тут все, Хамбл 3-0, я их поздравляю. Лично я их поздравляю, красавцы парни, молодцы, вырвались дальше. Пионеры, к сожалению, отлетают. Хамбл вообще красавцы, уважение. Первый матч угадал, кстати. Все, 1500. Но мы все равно дальше смотрим. Не переживайте, не расходимся, дальше смотрим. Ну, Хамбл, блин, вообще хорошо себя показали.
Просто бегать по карте, когда просто ты бегаешь.
Финал. Legendary, Pre-Star готов. Изи.
I feel like Pioneers could have been given everything they had and it would still have looked the same. You see the stats again, Samantha just mirroring second best the entire way through. Makes a lot of sense why he would be on the highest takedowns there as well. The boss and Lukey just always there for the support. And the whole squad, the synergy of everyone working in harmony, is really very, very scary.
very scary prospect for those looking on, and especially SK Gaming. They come off the back of a huge win against A Division to now have to look at this humble roster as the matchup for tomorrow. Samantha, well-earned MVP for the game against Pioneers, and what gameplay he brought to the table. So much composure for the team in general.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. I was expecting some fireworks in that matchup, but I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to be nearly as one-sided. For Humble, they are going to the semi-finals, they are looking like one of the scariest contenders, but we still got plenty more still to come, and that's the thing, we're shaping things up, but we're not done
Это который
yet.
босс KFC, что ли?
A lot more to go today and tomorrow as well. Still, another two quarterfinals to play out today, and they're both setting up to be bangers as well, but this one did end with a 3-0 to Humble. And I'm scared for what they're going to be able to bring from this point onwards. Let's refresh our minds on the bracket. The top portion of it has been completed for today as SK Gaming took down
О, а ну опрос, он мне не нужен.
win to move on and play against absolutely swept Pioneers off the table. Free to Raccoon versus Elevate will be the
День третий. СК Gaming Humble играет будет.
Elevate, the last stand.
Следующий матч Crazy Raccoon Elevate и Replita Rivalry Esports. Ну тут Crazy Raccoon и Тотем. А там Хамбо, СК, наверное, и Crazy Raccoon выйдет в финал.
Their entire region now resting on everything in which they do. They've got one of the toughest competitors in this tournament. I would not like to be in their shoes.
And are you looking on in horror, I'm sure, of that matchup against Crazy Raccoon. And obviously against Humble, two of the toughest opponents they could have drawn for day number 2 of the All Stars World Finals. And they drew both of them. Really disappointing stuff for the NA region, but let's not count Elevate out because that is going to be one great match.
And as well, for Reply Toast, there's a good possibility if they play it like they were playing yesterday, that they might also be in a position of landing themselves into the semis too. We've got 3 EMEA teams there. You know, who knows? I feel like Rival have really impressed me, especially a lot of the talent in the dressing room also. That match is still very much a 50-50 for me. This was the one that I thought would be a lot closer than it was, but regardless of how it is, I just didn't expect that we would see a sweep here today. But again, this is the World Finals. Anything is possible.
I started the day off with a tear going down my face as my cast predictions did not start well. I went to State Division over SK Gaming today and it did not play out the way I thought. But for you, for Uber, and for Kenny, smooth sailing so far.
Not just smooth sailings today, my turn, but smooth sailings yesterday. 100% accuracy. That's just a shame that there's no predictions master that you are. I kind of expected a bit more.
I have to pull out some bold picks tomorrow to because I can't catch up today. I'm gonna have to go
Голосование можно...
opposite of what's expected and cross my fingers. It's definitely disappointing.
Голосование уже можно завтра сделать.
Finals because they are the world champions at the current moment until we crown a champion this weekend. So very
Уже завтра голосование может будет. На 3-й день.
I mean, that first match, honestly, like, was just one of the most thrilling that I've seen on a world stage. I mean, we were watching from the sidelines, screaming our lungs out, and we just couldn't believe the fact.
Завтра финал тоже все будем смотреть, ребят, не переживайте, все будет нормально.
Toppling the current reigning champions.
Мы уже какой-то второй час погнали уже стрим, прикиньте.
Crazy things are occurring here, and it's one of my favorite world finals so far. Honestly, you just can't fault it.
I mean, not to sound like a bit of a biased capper in terms of regions, but EU are looking good. EU are looking very, very good, I will say. And,
Я не знаю, я просто, мне нафиг не нужен.
I love seeing my home region do well. And also like it's a laugh a little bit again, ready to back up. As well, I'm guessing this region all year long, but they might get a bit of a bite back with Elevate versus Crazy Raccoon next. And obviously,
Yeah, no, I really feel like I said from the beginning that Elevate are that kind of team which, you know, could really stumble in that first day or just struggle going to the second, but you know, that's because this is their first world finals for the majority of it. It's just one of those things where you've got to be able to pace yourself, and they've been doing that pretty well. It's Crazy Raccoon. I mean, you know, they've got the most experience by far in this matchup. I mean, we've had one immense upset today. Are we open for a second?
I mean, like genuinely all of the games throughout today are going to be so good. That's the thing, Crazy Raccoon being previous world champions on the roster and a 2-time champion Tensai as well really makes me scared of what is to do next. More matches today. A little bit later down the line, get back to versus Rival Esports match as well. We'll talk about how well Rival is in that matchup. Personally, I think they are going to drop down to the power of EMEA.
Well, we shall have to wait and see. Our next matchup will be Crazy Raccoon versus Elevate, the last remaining hope.
Ну, Crazy Raccoon заберет свое.
We'll be right back after a very short break.
Это бывший Z.
Brawl Stars World Finals are brought to you by ESL, Monster Energy, and DHL. back to normal. But they don't know how much we sacrificed to keep it that way. Some things never change. Well, maybe they do.
Пять минут до начала матча.
Я максимум не дал кнопку.
Я в рублей кидаю.
Welcome back, folks, to the Brawl Stars World Finals for 2024. We are still cleaning the remains
Все,
of
здесь есть все.
pioneers from the stage. An absolute bloodbath we saw in that second semi-final. And we're also setting our sights ahead to semi-final
Ну
number
тут
3.
Crazy Raccoon, понятное дело,
The
лучше.
last hope of North America. It's going to be Elevate on the other side of that matchup. Ready, set. Thanks for joining me. Had to fight their way through that Group A with SK Gaming in the mix to get here
Сейчас
today.
самых слабых убьют,
It was
оттуда и
brutal,
все.
but they did manage to take set number one in that series, which totally changed the tone that we were expecting out here from Elevate. Their first ever LAN as a team, and only one player on their roster that had been at LAN before. And at those LANs, did take a
It's a
single
lot.
set. Yeah, and now at the World Finals on the biggest stage. In fact, on the big stage in that game, managed to take a set. So real scrappy one. Didn't take it in the end, but managed to scrape through that group stage.
Yeah, really close Group A in general for Elevate. Even though they dropped a set to Foot Esports, and I was concerned about whether they would be a team that could even emerge from that Group A. The other side of this matchup, yeah, Group C, the Group of Death produced a bloody beast, but still alive Crazy Raccoon, who have
Кирилл,
emerged
заходи на джишку,
perhaps to
промокодик тебе
reclaim
дам.
what was once theirs. As Tensai eyes on a third
Ну иди
world
сюда.
champion. And Crazy Raccoon look at the bottom half of this bracket and lick their lips in anticipation.
Bloody and beaten is absolutely true, but we have to consider that these guys emerged with a 2-0 scoreline. Every single match in that group went to a 2-1 series. Luminosity, they fought for their lives but could not make it to this stage. So Crazy Raccoon, what do they get as a reward for making a perfect 2-0 advancement onto the quarterfinals? They have to face number one from North America.
Yes. Doesn't get any easy. A trans-Pacific battle between Apex #1 and North America's golden child. We're going to head down to Banks to get this one rolled.
Thank you so much, Uber. Two teams have already been sent packing as our best of five show us who came prepared for the main stage. And of course, there is still more to come, namely our next quarter final. First up, a team that is looking to make a huge upset.
Кто смотрит,
On the main
напишите в
stage,
чат.
it's Zeus, RBM, and Luffy.
2 лайка,
They are
ничего себе, кто-то
Elevate.
лайк поставил.
team that honestly needs no introduction. Previous world champions yet to lose on the main stage. Tensai, Shitampo, and Moya, they are Crazy Raccoon!
Вот, сейчас покажем.
Ну, кому не жалко, лайки ставим. Пожалуйста. Crazy Raccoon. Тенсай вообще топ.
Now, this might be the first year in many years that a team called Zeta Division will not be winning the World Finals, but the previous bearers of the name are still very much in their prime. It's Crazy Raccoon here ready to throw down. And on the other side, Elevate are a relatively less tested quantity, a lot less land experience like we talked about here. They're a team, though, that has found a lot of success from some really great drafting.
That is really their specialty.
Чехия,
They cook on these drafts.
Чехия
RBM
и
They're
Мексика.
simply the instruments that are used by Killer to orchestrate all of this draft business.
Не,
Let's talk
если не
about
ошибаюсь,
Moya,
только
though.
Чехия.
I would argue one of the more mechanically skilled players on this roster, and I don't think he gets enough credit. I think RBM tends to steal the show for his tank play, but we see Luffy cook on brawlers, especially Rico. If he ever makes it through that draft, you gotta keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a team in Elevate who make great use of Luffy on the Kenji, especially to craft some very aggressive strategies that really worked around setting that nasty assassin brawler up for success. Elevate, I think in their game,
Напишите в чат, кто
they
смотрит.
let Frank through the draft, and I think they allow Kenji to be put by their opponents. They end up losing that
А что,
first
Хупс
set of the
отыграли
series,
же?
and we're starting to worry about the fate of NA's number one team, but they're recovering
Если хочешь, у меня на
nicely.
стриме
Crazy
посидите.
Raccoon have also had their fair share of scrappy games in the lead up to this match.
Тенсай,
Crazy Raccoon, they have
Тенсай,
not made it
Майя.
easy on themselves because I would say
И
the typical shortcoming of
Хититамбу.
Crazy Raccoon is that they struggle with
Японцы.
some of these drafts. But to
Киньте
encounter that,
японцы
they
играют.
have the best mechanics on the globe. Tensai being
И вот
world
Тенсай вообще
renowned
топовый.
for his skill over here, especially on his favorite brawler, Max.
Любимый браулер Макс.
Max is available to
Любимая
be
еда
picked up. We
суши.
often see Crazy Raccoon
Откуда с
prioritize it.
Японии?
They're a team that loved a lot of Carl, loved to use Meg, even the
А Стандов, привет, привет.
Max pairings. This is a team, though, who have really let all on their individual skill. The mechanical prowess of this team has definitely been one of their hallmarks. Sometimes the drafting is left a little to be designed.
And I think that's deliberate. I think that they really think that they deserve to win if they can mechanically best their opponents. They've always sort of had this mentality, and that is why
Давайте
they've
лайки
gained this
поставим,
reputation.
пожалуйста.
They've invested all of their skill points into just mechanics. They are
Напишите в
going
чат,
to
кто
win
смотрит.
this lane by dodges,
Пожалуйста.
by not getting hit.
И меня
And
слышно
we've
вообще?
seen that prowess showcased time after time. But the game is changing. Brawl Stars is becoming a little bit
Кто со
more
мной до
about
конца,
the draft.
пишите
The
плюс
roster of
чат.
brawlers continues to expand. You all at home at event.brawlstars.com. Many of you getting behind Crazy Raccoon.
Хоть я и
Us
добью,
casters
но я
are
все равно
also
буду смотреть, мне все
on
равно.
your side. This should be a game in which the APAC number one seed could claim a spot in the semifinals.
Короче, официально
Crazy Raccoon
перехожу на
have
шеф
their
страны.
way. They would like to play this in 3 lanes, but there's one critical issue here on Canal Grand, which is that there are really only 2 lanes unless you play something that can float over the water. Crazy Raccoon have already eliminated one of those key options. Angelo, not even in the consideration as a first selection out here for Elevate. We're going to be picking up that mode.
Oh, available, and you better believe it's going to be an early pickup for either of these
Слушай,
teams.
ну
Crazy
микрофон
Raccoon
не-
also received match to tap and pick that up on occasion. RT, going to be the pick from Crazy Raccoon, and note Elevate.
Crazy Raccoon победит.
And Larry and Laurie out. They are a team that likes to go for more of that tank play, not so much the
Напишите плюс чат, кто
throwers.
смотрит.
I mentioned earlier for Crazy Raccoon, a classic pick, signature approach for them so far.
Should be able to deal with any throwers that are selected over here. Also,
О,
gradually farming up that super, especially against a lot of hits again. Get a hypercharge out here. Brock going to be a pretty unorthodox selection here.
Лайки ставим
Now,
все.
to be able to jump over the wall, maybe cross
И
that
подписываемся
gap.
на канал.
And here's the Carl. This is going to address a potential thrower selection for Crazy Raccoon, given that they have gotten this cheap. Makes it a little difficult for Elevate to deal with that, but also remember, this is bound, and Carl is going to be
Стандов, я тебя вижу, все вижу.
starting things off the bank for Elevate.
This also means
Там
Chicago
что
might
первый?
have
О,
to
Баунти,
play
нифига себе.
blowout instead of venture
Падающий звезда. А,
spirits
Гранд
as
Канал,
a
я понял.
gadget
Нифига.
selection. And the squeak.
десятку я куплю билет.
Crazy Raccoon, because very powerful. That residue gadget to be able to slow within a
Внизу
radius
хороший
of
пик
very
у
close.
Левиней.
You'll get them some vision in some of these bushes, and yes, slow within a radius on one of the lanes. I think it will be able to play this East versus West gameplay that we see emerge on Fidel Brand pretty effectively, but keep in mind that they don't really have a good way of getting this to start.
Кто второй человек? Напишите плюс чат, пожалуйста, чтобы я всех видел.
Quarterfinal as Crazy Raccoon from APAC elevates the #1 seed from North America. Only one will survive.
Elevate already grabbing that blue star as expected and transferring over to this left side. They don't want to just take one side. They want to be able to own both the left and the right. Crazy Raccoon back into their spawn. So far it seems to be effective, but CR are creeping up around ways. These sort of oasis of health thanks to these magic bugs that keep everyone alive.
Zeus also punished there by Shitapo, who has comparable range, double the health almost of that Brawl. Zeus takes another kick here. Luffy has to constantly be moving. You'll notice the residue field on the left side of the map there. The poke damage has been good, and so Zeus has been able to move up a little bit more. We're going to see some pretty tentative probing for the first part of this round.
Tin sides making an aggressive push in, trying to get some damage on Luffy. Takedown, but one kill. We see Tin side.
Ну, 2 лайка, это хорошо.
Still one star lead here for
3
Elevate.
лайка.
Here comes the hypercharge from Zeus. For a bit of bonus damage, there's the kill.
Ой, хорошо, блин.
Slower start here for Crazy Raccoon. They do have a magic hand available. That's the lamp blowout used there.
А там не посмотрим. Там прямой эфир идет.
Tentai wants to come in, throws a super out, and Elevator looking pretty good here.
We'll see Takedown will still manage to get a kill there with the Hex gadget for RT. Looks like this right side has now been left open. Definitely a fighting chance for Crazy Raccoon to start pushing up this right side and Tin side. It's going to take full advantage. Now that Elevator back is on, this is when the squeak actually starts to become a problem.
Zeus trying to push out of spawn. Knows he's going to take a bit of damage from Tensai. And do so.
У меня...
Luffy gets up close. Tensai.
О, 2 человека. Плюс чат, кто смотрит. Пишите в чат, ПЖ. Здесь чемпионат идет.
Tensai doubles down. Elevate still have a 2-star lead now in the last 10 seconds of the round.
Excellent tanking play from Elevate over here as RBM was reduced to super low HP. But Squeak is bound to start to get around this right side. Everything closed in. They gotta get a kill.
Оу! Crazy Raccoon.
Blue star victory to start this one off with a comeback.
Always dangerous to give up map control against Squeak. And Elevate don't have a magic puffs-like ability like Crazy Raccoon do. So that point damage sticks around a lot longer.
Once they can
Пока что 1-0 по раундам.
that's when they started to seriously suffer. See, once again, though, Luffy starting off again this blue star. Elevate already in that possession mid. Side's gonna try a different creative way of getting around the left side, chaining up some shots, but no kill.
Moya steps out, knows one direct hit would have ended Luffy, but he's able to just crawl away. Now Crazy Raccoon have push control here. You might see Elevate on push the map. They want to keep Carl within attacking range, and a rocket rain's going to break a lot of those bushes.
Zeus doesn't mind breaking open some of these walls that can be a critical position for Elevate to control because Crazy Raccoon had possession, even if it was for such a short duration. They're occupying this right side, leading by 3 stars at the moment. They're in a very safe position. But once they let Crazy Raccoon take control of it, that's once again where Tensai on the sweep is going to become a massive issue.
He's backing up a little bit more now. Luffy playing cagily. Does have that tail spin.
Ну, Crazy Raccoon заберет спокойно. 3-0 уже ведут. Это вообще хорошо.
Against the Squeak, that could be a dangerous proposition. RBM goes in. Shitapo disintegrates. RBM
Я пока 1 угадал.
Luffy and Zeus follow it up, and Moya lips away.
Вчера 6 из 12, а здесь пока 1 из 4. Ну, сейчас будет 2 из 4, там 3 из 4. Потому что, я с СК из этой что-то прогадал, я подумал, что из этого игры, оказывается, нет. Они проиграли 3-2 и отлетели. Из этого отлетели вообще. Либо Crazy Raccoon, либо СК станут чемпионами в этом году. Это понятное дело. Но напомню, Crazy Raccoon это бывшая Z 21 года. Я 12 Как хочешь. Ну, Elevate взяли. Надо агрессивно играть, вот именно. ММА правильно говорит, агрессивно надо играть.
Да нет,
Всё,
это
смотрите, либо
Да не надо.
не по онлайну, либо это агрессивно. Ну, расход, да, пожалуйста.
Ну тут Crazy Raccoon. Ребята, еще завтра тоже стрим будет. Такое же время. Я подрублю.
Всё, после смерти это...
Все будет нормально, все будет шик-блеск.
That's the difference maker here is Elevate have that
Я вам отвечаю. Я перехожу на шорт стриму, это все.
Sutapa getting aggressive here, but
Да.
RBM
Потому что вертикальные и все. Сейчас все шорт стримы стримят. 3-3, в принципе, Elevate ведет. Crazy Raccoon в одно... Ну, считай, в одно очко проиграл. Там вот, считай, RT в серединку залететь, ульту юзануть, и все, они выиграют. Целую команду, считай, зафигачить. Все, изи 5-2, 5-3. Отлично вообще. Ой, извиняюсь. Я хотел потапать вот этот значок. Сейчас, подождите, ребята, сейчас приду, помогу.
Когда типа пойдет, да. Прямо super in from Zeus, but no real damage on the 10 side, especially since all being healed up by the Wiz magic buffs.
Okay, hypercharge here coming out from Zeus. The move speed is terrifying. 10 size down. Luffy maybe overextends. Backs away and realizes the Elevate have the lead already.
Carlos напулил бы.
Top ready once more on the right side. See the same thing happening
Oh,
again.
they're coming.
Tensai storming the right side. Luffy definitely pinched. Zeus trying to fire down some suppressing fire. The CT Tapo shrugs it all off. Lane switch here with the final gadget from Luffy. It's getting desperate. 10 seconds left. RBM going for the Hail Mary play. No kill. Yes! As he pops out of the super elevate, still lead by just 1 star. And takedown on CT Tapo. And Elevate takes set 1.
Че там, Elevate выиграли, что ли? Да ну нафиг. Офигеть. Делать еще боец выпал. Ты знал, что тут только бойцы выпадают?
Да? Ну открой.
С легендарного.
Я знаю. Вот мне прошлом уже чисто выпал.
Ладно, ты что, реально бойцы. Да.
Ты врешь.
Ну мне же с того при Старс скин выпал. Ну потому что все бойцы были.
Мне тоже. Не что-то выпал. Те, кто выпал.
Ему? Что ты из мифика ему выпал?
Я вообще ничего не выпал.
Нет, тебе мифический боец выпал.
Ничего мне не выпало.
Разве?
Мне только эти монеты дропнули вроде.
Нет, тебе 2 бойца выпало.
Ты врешь.
Тебе 2 бойца выпадало, ты чё?
Мне в тот раз с того легендарного стардропа это летом было, выпал пляжный Мортис, а со второго стардропа, хотя его просто по фану открыл, мне выпал легендарный стардроп, и это выпал Отис.
Ну вот.
Да нет, это просто обыкновенный стардроп. Ты врешь? Ну иди открой.
Кирилл, открой.
Мне ничего не дали.
Я что, может, реально открытие еще сделаю? И ты оставишь.
Но мне еще не все выдали.
Ну все, дальше остается
Ребята, еще стримим 2 часа. Ну ладно, край до пол-1. У меня стрим идет. Ну хочу постримить, блин. 5-часовой стрим, прикинь, 5-часовой. Если хочешь, то можешь мне донатов скинуть. Хочешь, мне можешь донат кинуть.
22 рубля.
Ну вот 10 можешь закинуть. 10. Да подожди. Я хочу скрима. Я хочу скрим. Не, не надо переводить.
Именно совпал участок.
Я больше не нужен. Я не знаю. Сначала, да, вот тебе добавить.
Наступает.
Нет, да, то есть, боже.
Нахера? Не хочу один. Блин.
Анджелу взяли.
Нахера тебе 10 рублей?
Калет.
Not always bad, this Colette, on this kind of map, but very effective, especially when your opponents are forced to defend. She cycles supers onto that same free damage that really can't be answered, especially because she's using mass attacks to guarantee shielding should she collide with any enemy brawlers during that super. An 8-bit here, really solid mid, often see that picked up.
Калет 8 вид взяли.
Chunk is something that may be played around. Quite often, when you see that picked up, the opposing team realizes they might be priced into just all-inning, trying to race. Column here is great. Silver ball that opens up the map they need to keep it pressure and safe down from a very safe distance also.
I see potential for this goal to really open up the right side, bring that little 2x2 that we see right at the entrance to the mid area of this map. Also, with the Brawler, it's going to be sitting around the left side most likely, because that is the optimal position where he can damage the safe while he is still safe himself. I also see Crazy Raccoon with this lead and 8-bit combo. It's very, very typical. Not a Crazy Raccoon, but just in high stage.
А, это ТикТок. А, кстати, в ТикТоке тоже Суперсилы стрим, ты еще можешь там посмотреть. Сральник. Здорово, здорово, огурчик 352, Crazy Raccoon, да, они выиграют. Скорее всего, они выиграют. Здорово, здорово, огурчик. Давайте лайки поставим, пожалуйста. Лайки и можете донатики покидать мне. Crazy Raccoon должны затащить. Поможешь потом апнуть 1К на фэнге, сейчас 920. Вот давай за 10 рублей, да. 10 рублей кидаешь, идем с тобой играть после чемпионата. То есть чемпионат до 12 ночи будет. По моему времени.
Again, with the right star power, black powder, you have pretty insane range as Connie, which is fine. But her fire rate, she only has one shot in the chamber, right? So she cannot simply just like send off.
Еще ссылка для доната в чате, либо в шапке профиля канала, потому что нету денег, а точнее карточки. Понятно. Я не знаю, посмотрим. Посмотрим. Если не устану смотреть, то пойдем. А, ты с Украины? Серьезно? Гривна. Если я не устану, то пойдем. Ну там по-любому до 12, потому что вчера до 12 ночи были. Нифига себе с Украины. Четко. А ты подписан?
The outranged Colette, he plays toe-to-toe with this 8-bit over here. Zeus is really focused on eliminating Tin side on this left side first and foremost. That's going to allow RBM
Все, да, спасибо большое. Спасибо за подписку. 3 лайка. Я вот что думаю, на шорт-стримы переходить. А ты с какого города? Ты с какого города?
Damage booster still active here. Gotcha gadget used by Shatapa to try and punish this Angelo. And elsewhere, we have Tensai diving in on the body to pressure the safe.
So this is how it's going to go. Crazy Raccoon, they're going to play for that control in mid, and then they're going to send in Bonnie. She has to be addressed. Everyone from Elevate has to pivot backwards in order to deal with that. But they're really relying on Moya to be completely up, 100% uptime.
Хмельник.
Zeus here is a nasty angle. This is difficult to punish and dangerous for Moya to play into.
А у вас там что, бомбежка идет, нет?
Look towards Tensai to pressure him down.
Вас бомбят там или нет?
Couple of hits from Shatapa coming in though. Zeus will heal up and now look at the safe. Tensai tried to dive, but RBM on defense is able to stand.
This is brutal from Luffy. Hypercharging super, but they cannot ignore Moya. Despite the walls being broken on the left side, it's still perfect to lock in some of that safety.
Хмельники нету. Ну, нормально.
Скажи мне, хмельник, бум-бум. Брат, а ты мне скажи, а можно я этот пулеметную ленту из-под 2000 устроить?
Ну, что хоть ходил и не раз. А что такое шахет? Я просто не знаю. На вашем там, на ваших понятиях. О, Crazy Raccoon взяли свое.
Броник, ну что будете сегодня на самолете брос крейзировать? Или мне это не интересно, или Новый год они отмечают, или у них весь Новый год каждый сразу на год празднует.
Ракун выиграли, ты чё, выиграли они.
Да, киллеры.
Этот, а у меня вопрос, а у вас Бравл Старс заблокирован или нет?
Так я заблокировал.
Мне просто реально интересно, у вас Бравл Старс заблокировал?
Что он напишет, когда?
Енецкая область. Енец. Этот, а у вас Бравл Старс заблокирован? Мне просто интересно очень. У вас там задержка, по-моему, 15 секунд, не знаю. У вас Бравл Старс заблокирован? Серьезно, нет?
Скажи, Макдак у вас есть?
Будем повезло вам. А у нас заблокирован. Ну, у меня обход есть для этого. Повезло вам, повезло. Майнкрафт. Ну, я Майнкрафт не играю.
That takes the 8-bit out of the equation. Zeus now wants to come forward as well, but a look to do with Tensai. Nice dodge. Gets away from the Angelo shot, gets some safe damage for free. Elevate now have to answer this. Collective back in mid, and Zeus is forced to catch it away.
Tapo barely managed to escape, but
VPN. Нет, у меня просто регион в плеймаркете другой стоит. VPN не помогает.
Украина хрю-хрю бум-бум.
Дурака.
Кстати, знал, что 5 ноября закончится война.
Я не знаю, о чем он базар.
Я тоже не знаю, кстати, ты знал, что 5 ноября закончится война. Трумп все сделает.
Пацан, ты за Украину или за Россию?
Еще один.
Трумп.
Это Петр Олегович Ягов. Ой, кубик.
Пацан, Россия топ.
О, Crazy Raccoon взяли. 1-1.
Пацан, Россия топ, Украина.
able to bounce back after a pretty average first set here. With a crazy pick of Bonnie coming out. And they play really patient. It's a really long-range competition. The Colette looks great, she always does on maps like this. And Tensai is such a nuisance. Whether it's consistent, long-range poke, keeping the ammo honest, or diving in onto the save, Crazy Raccoon always have something to keep Elevate busy.
This is what we know about Crazy Raccoon. It's their preferred play style. They play 3 lanes, and this is exactly what happened over here against Elevate.
Да-да, в
They
сухую
managed to have
2-0.
something that enforced 1, 2, and 3 lane play. And then from there, they were able to hide behind some of these obstacles, especially against Angelo on that right side. Being able to float over the water doesn't really matter a whole lot when, well, your opponent is hiding behind the wall. And Tensai punches through all of that defense. Doesn't have to play footsies with the enemy side when he can just jump over all of them.
В Бравл Старс мы через DNS сервер играем. DNS сервер включаем и играем.
Even Colette has about 7.7k health. That's a lot to cut through when your Colt is like 5.5. Your Angelo 6.3. Thereabouts. So much health has to be cut through on this Crazy Raccoon roster that you can do all the damage to the water, but if you're not secure,
Мы в Бравл Старс через DNS сервер играем.
Slow and steady wins the race for Crazy Raccoons. We have an even series on our hands.
We talk about health, and you can really extend that health if you're able to dodge shots the way that Crazy Raccoon are able to. When we talk about mechanics, we're saying, look, this is a 3-button game. With Hypercharge, you got more. But if your moving is bad, if your shooting is bad, turns out you have bad mechanics.
У них
That
там
is
все
where they
есть.
specialize in landing the shots,
Да,
landing
TFC
the
босс.
shots.
Да.
And we see a whole lot of dodging on that body, despite her being slow. She's sure able to survive.
Yeah, I mean, we really undersold, I think, the impact of Bonnie. That
Сколько
happens very
они
often for any
справятся?
analyst trying to cover a Crazy Raccoon game. So there's nothing out of the ordinary.
Я
Или гривны эти.
А 14 гривен это сколько в рублях?
сейчас сайт обновим, подожди. Это у Ютуба задержка 15 секунд, если вы не знали.
Won't see it until the end of their draft here. But this strategy has had a pretty average win rate over the course of these last couple of days. I think in their previous series, as of the previous series, or the start of the day, Gus had like a 30% win rate. Despite being
14 гривен это 28 рублей. Ничего себе.
Это
one of
так
the
мало.
most
Ну ты умножай на 2, 14 на 2.
А сколько этот у вас там?
Получается 100 гривен.
У
Получается,
вас...
тихо. Получается 100 гривен это 200 рублей в наших?
And Zeus again wants to go
у вас фанта оригинальная.
for the Angelo. Again, makes sense. Where you can find success.
Блин, сайт лагает. Нема там уже. А, все, понял этих перевод гривен.
Я думаю, 14 гривен это как этот.
Все, я понял разбор в этих гривнах. — 20 рублей фигня. Получается 5 гривен это 10 рублей. Фига себе, я великий математик.
With that gene also, I think it negates some of the thrower effects for Elevate, whether that's going to be
Ну, он на русском говорит. Значит, да.
Он, получается, связан на немецком. Ой, какой немецкий. Он, получается, связан на украинском и хера ты на русском.
Ну да.
Хера себе.
Если ты не знал украинец, то ты русский.
А где смысл
А доллар
украинский
по
знать?
40.
Где смысл знать украинский, раз там все на изи меняется?
Control. All right, folks, we're one apiece in the series.
right wall. That's going to just
Все, нормально, все нормально.
get over there. No issue. Side's going to go over
on the left side. He's not really using it.
Tensai here always on any part of this map can be a threat. Starting to see it broken up a little bit there. RBM blowing up some up so he can help Luffy collapse on that right hand side as Moya might not give him a man-to-man duel like Yellow Eyes would prefer.
Правильно.
Backed up here on the right hand side, marked briefly by Shtitampo, who's already developed that super. Not going to be relevant until the gas starts to encroach, a situation that Elevate would like to avoid at all costs anyway. They really want to win these long range matchups, but Crazy Raccoon have the mechanics ready to avoid getting picked off like that.
Elevate have their backs against the wall over here. They're just managing to march forward.
Оставили, ну типа, наш сейчас просто...
No real value out there. Tensai now
Извините за
has
качество
super ready to
плохое, но...
laser.
А,
Bit
вот
of
все
an
равно
odd
на
angle
качество.
and doesn't get too much value off of it. Here's a super in from RBM Boya on his last
Там
leg.
Crazy Raccoon
Into
затащили.
the poison. Takedown for Shtitampo on the top right.
У меня здесь трансляция еще одна.
Могу прямо оригинальную колу попить.
Убрать.
Оригинальная?
Да.
Откуда она?
Ой.
1v1v1.
RBM would like to do a lot more than just keep Shtitampo at bay, but he's just not been offered the opportunity. Zeus struggling against Tensai as Moya just trends to the left to give that Magic Puffs healing back over the Rico. Elevate need to make a play. They can't just let this round get away from them. They need to be active participants here.
So far, they still have their backs against the wall, just like in the last round. Luffy does have the utility of his super available. RDN tried to get some on the right side, didn't manage to do much. Boy is equipped with the super that's going to be dangerous. The hyper charge! A team wipe as he snaps to the right side. To bring home game one.
Use a Gus super just to keep them alive. They take too much poke damage from the RT. And they know if there's an RT gadget used, they will instantly be eliminated. So there's no choice for Elevate to use their silver bullet just to keep themselves in the game. Luffy's got to be kicking himself after that.
There's no synergy here for Elevate on these brawlers, on this composition. Because Gus, what is he really going to be used for? He has that self-preservation of the super, but typically you're going to find your value from using that on a teammate that's quite low. That's just not how we see it being applied out here. It's not what this comp is tailored for. It is a series of 1v1s over here. And so far, Crazy Raccoon are prevailing.
It's a scary science for North American fans. They really need to get themselves into the driver's seat. They're currently having this match, or at least this set, dictated to them by these previous champions. Good poke, this is better. Moya, under pressure. Vengeful Spirits, though, staves Zeus off, takes him low.
Okay,
Moya's able to avoid the shots from the Brock.
But Elevator, oh, what a gadget from Luffy. Finally, a man advantage for Elevate. A super in from RBN. There's one, there's two. Tensai, the last one alive, trying to avoid feeding hypercharge to the enemy side, but he knows it's inevitable. RBN's got it now. Luffy has his super, and Zeus also close to one of his own. Elevate are in a great position.
And that's around one on mechanics there for Elevate. Normally, Crazy Raccoon's MO. But without a draft that is, patently dominant over Crazy Raccoon, Elevate have to lean into the individual. They have the firepower to rely on, as we just saw. Can they do it again, though?
An ambitious super in from Tensai down that right lane. You see them
нету подарков?
gradually keep
Мы их потом
RBN
выдадут.
back. They have possession of mid, and no one wants to push into Moya, equipped with this super. On the left side, we see Zeus in pretty much a stalemate against Shtitampo. He's going to take shots to take him down. Zeus is looking pretty dangerously low over there. We'll also see Moya swap lanes over the left side, trying to get a jump on RBN once the poison forces him forward.
Zeus spamming pins at Shtitampo there. Gets him to come forward. Okay, RBM, hypercharge at the ready. It's raining rockets. Shtitampo had to walk out. Look at that. Magic hand. What a pick up on Zeus. RBM's in trouble now. Another Gus super to try and keep the Brock in the fight. And RBM's going to try and come forward. But Crazy Raccoon will not be denied.
What synergy from Crazy Raccoon over here. We saw members super low. Whole team came together to body block and keep him alive. That was into RBM's rocket fuel, meant as a kill confirm onto that brawler. But Elevate tried to get some synergy of their own, finally applying that super from Luffy for some good, putting it on RBM twice. But it didn't actually manage to do anything. We also saw a near kill on the 10 side from Luffy there on the right side. Unexpected kill on a Zeus out of nowhere from Site Tampo. Drops Elevate down to their final lives.
Set on the line, Elevate have to win a 2 versus 3 against, well, a combined 4 world champions on the side of Crazy Raccoon. Moy with the high par, guaranteed the ball, and it's up to Luffy now. And I don't think there's a fruit in the world that could give him the power to take down the raid bosses that are Crazy Raccoon. Pops the super, but now knows it is over. Back into the gas perhaps, and that's 2 sets. For APAC number 1.
О, Crazy Raccoon, 2-1.
Crazy Raccoon enforcing their style of play out here, playing the 1v1s, and when it matters most, going for that synergy. But remember that this final round, even the one that was just played, was a cascading effect after a single kill that we saw from Site Tampo on the left side.
That is often what these knockout rounds boil down to, Reddy. Getting a 3v2. It's really hard to lose those if the gas isn't already basically surrounding you. And because both teams are playing these long-range poke comps that have kill confirms, right? We, of course, have Cookie Popper. We have the gadget from the RT. There are so many points of volatility. I mean, we talk about the gadget as well from the Brock. Taking one hit can be the difference between life or death.
Precisely what we saw. We need to see the kill confirms be the valuable thing that actually locked in the round. And when it came down to Brock actually utilizing that ability, team play came in to stymie that entirely.
And I think honestly, like that round that Elevate ran win is a result of, I think, Shitapo or what a Crazy Raccoon walking over a ghost, allowing an easy Cookie Popper pick up here. Tensai on the Rico with 6 eliminations and only 1 apiece for the entirety of Elevate. This set definitely felt like it was an uphill battle for the NA squad.
I mean, I really think that Crazy Raccoon are playing in their own dojo over here. They have enforced things to their will. They have molded this draft to go exactly the way that they want on these maps. And we focus on this as being the weak point of Crazy Raccoon. So what happens when they're the goats of mechanics and they also can bend the draft to their will? It's pretty much a playground for them.
Exactly. It's like a domain expansion from Crazy Raccoon. What will the answer be here from Elevate? They have 1 more chance to send this to a 5th and final set. So their Ring of Fire play will have to be centimeter perfect.
Elevate now with the first pick available, and Crazy Raccoon finally willing to let one of the new brawlers slide. Kenji now available in the draft, but Elevate are going to have to utilize this as a 4-5 selection. They won't have the last laugh in this one. No last pick. So Kenji's on the table. Clancy, the crab, now coming out.
Pretty good on those side lanes. These are a little harder to sort of get into the back line from, though. You can play on the right side and work around that barrel a little bit. But Luffy doesn't mind feeding a couple kills early on. You can turn those into credits, especially with the gadget that, you know, increases his credit generation. He just needs to get to gold as quickly as possible.
And it's entirely possible for the Clancy to fall flat on its face as long as it's outranged and control is played. Lou coming in quite early in the draft. Definitely a surprising one that Crazy Raccoon could choose to bring in later in the draft, but they actually managed to make it work yesterday, so why not go for it now? And Gus to play a mid over here.
The only thing separating this from 2023 is, what, a spike? that would really make it look like the comps of old. But yeah, Gus again being picked up for CR. Once more, Elevate don't get the value they're looking for out of it, but he's just such a great mid to long range brawler. The kill confirmed potential, we saw how good it was earlier. Lola will come out here. That ego really letting you fight a little bit longer on the point and increase your damage output. It's definitely what makes this such an ideal pick here.
2 brawlers from Elevate that should be pretty good in the tanks, and here's the Kenji, and now either RBM or Luffy are out to play So will it be Luffy that really stole the show with Kenji just yesterday, or will it be RBM team tank specialist who'll take the reins of the sushi master over here on the right side? Well, maybe come down to which brawler is going to be more demanding, depending on the last pick out here, Surge. Going to be getting some free levels off of this Kenji as long as he's pushing.
And we've talked about, common counters to Kenji being tanks, right? The Elevate's composition is already very hostile to tanks. Very high damage brawlers with decent range in Clancy and Lola, so that's not an option. Crazy Raccoon
Ну,
going for
кстати,
the
потому да.
Surge alongside the Gus and the Lou. So we're going to fall down to that Surge player. Again, both teams fancy these brawlers that only get stronger as the game goes. And it's Elevate's last chance to stay alive. The hopes of NA rest on their shoulders as we jump into Ring of Fire.
Right out the gates, Luffy aggressive around this left side, but quickly regrets his decision. He does not want to push into Moya. He also doesn't want to push into Sitatampo. So which is it going to be? He's just going to have to swallow that. Go for it, trying to bait out some of the shots on the left side. Note that Elevate have been quite uncontested here mid, and Crazy Raccoon are going to have to reevaluate their lanes.
Yeah, no longer can Crazy Raccoon be so aggressive to defend that left side. They're able to step up, get themselves some percentage here. RBM yet to get a hit in this game, getting his first one just there. It's an awkward spot for the Clancy to be. He's trying to get some damage. Caught inside the loose, super stunned up. 3 damage for Moya as RBM heads home with his tail between his legs.
Luffy still trying to bait out some of the shots. Another super in, and the gadget pop to Luffy. So vulnerable, but remains alive or on the left side. Doesn't matter though. Moya has already managed to farm his hypercharge off of him, and RBM on the right side is being totally denied. Note that he's also running the dash gadget for RBM. Back left, Luffy. He's trying to get on the Sitatampo. Bested by the Surge jump.
But he has to respect the power shield as well because it reduces damage and helps Surge reload instantly. And then there's the super that gives him vulnerability, so Luffy can't actually attack Chitapo at all there. Very awkward matchup for the Kenji. Chitapo now flashing that super as well, knows he can dodge away. Luffy has to use the gadget now, maybe looking at Tensai, who just bubbles himself. And Crazy Raccoon look indomitable on this point. Elevates nowhere to be seen.
Crazy Raccoon, absolutely indestructible on every single lane. Elevate got a 10% lead at the beginning, and that was the last time they ever even thought about stepping on that point. The Lou, you don't want to feed it, but what happened anyway? Because of the lanes that are enforced here, there's no real home for the Kenji. For the Clancy, the first selection, they drafted themselves into a corner. They weren't really able to get any tokens farmed up and get to that valuable second level where the damage and the range of Clancy actually starts to become a threat.
Luffy's been much more proactive this time around. Chitapo still has a super. Luffy attempts to dodge it. Gadget gets him healed up, but Chitapo is chilling. Level 2 and a super available. RBM is cut down.
It's going to take a concerted effort to move Sitatampo out of this left side. He's actually just going to do it anyway because it's fine. He got his level 3. On the back right, definitely a threat. Sitatampo out with the gadget. Still some damage in from Luffy. And a kill. Elevate, take back control of mid. And a slight advantage. Looks like a good opening.
Yeah, Chitapo though, he's at level 4. RBM's got to be careful. Still the bronze. Luffy wants to dive in, but Chitapo is basically unkillable right now. Now, with that super available, Zeus tries to get away. Free spray used in order to try and play from behind that ego. Luffy's got nowhere to go. Get another gadget use, and now we're an even game.
RBM still with nowhere to really go. He's outranged absolutely everywhere. He wants to get this back right, but he's going to have to face Sitatampo with the super as well. You see the super in from Luffy. Really no value out of that. CR looking for the next kill before they can actually move in onto this point. Nothing just yet, just playing the slow control.
This Surge, man. This Surge is terrifying. Luffy gets taken down. Chitapo benefits there from Tensai's super. So it's a very healthy Surge still. Moya pressured by RBM. Finally, the Clancy gets in there, but there's an answer. Chitapo brings the Lola down, and Luffy beats Chitapo. An anime battle to end them all. Chitapo comes off second best, and Elevate have a lead now.
Tensai now approaching with the super. He gets some synergy here with Moya. Might need to use it. Super in, pops it on himself. Luffy with a cycle super and slices, dices, decimates. Tensai, Elevate are persisting in spite of a match point.
This time, though, it seems like the game plan for the Kenji is so much clearer.
Видимо, из-за VPN не
Get
работает.
up in the Surge's face, whether he's level 1 or 4.
Да, из-за
Take
VPN.
that fight
скорее всего.
and take one of the biggest
Потому что
weapons
Donation
for
Alerts у
Crazy
меня
Raccoon
через
on the
ОП не
battlefield.
работает.
It's going to be
так
difficult
спасибо.
because Tensai is so closely guarded. He's flanked by both Sitatapo and Moya. But if there's any time of game to go for him, it's got to be now. We saw Luffy and RDM both double stack that left lane. It proves their chances of getting something optimal. RBM playing around this 93 on the left side. So active. Moya is still actually lining up these shots. RBM frozen mid-dash. And an excellent start for Crazy Raccoon.
RBM though getting those credits. He gets a little bit of the job done. Close to silver now. As Luffy steps up to the plate next, but he's half stunned. Damaged heavily. Hosomaki healing gets popped here, but Luffy has to play back behind that box. RBM has just hit silver, but Luffy's got nothing to do back there. Nice torrent. RBM gets aggressive, and Elevate finally get on the board.
What an excellent comeback here for Elevate. They managed to get RBM almost to the gold tier. On the right side, Luffy is being quite cautious about feeding any more super to Moya, knowing how much of a win condition it can be. Luffy up to the skies. Excellent timing on that super. Sitatapo had the damage and he had the shots thanks to the gadget.
That power shielding is huge for Surge. Azus and RBM, the latter flashing his super, generate a lot of threat.
И он станет золотым. Он золотой. Блин, только не подумай. Этот куб это 3-2-2. Все, они не выпустят из базы. Там Бользач что-то пытается.
Sitatapo now hypercharged all the way behind. Going deep round.
2-2, алло. Алло. Не, погоди. Да. Охренеть. Ё-моё, ну. Что сказать? Ну, давайте ланку большую добавлю, что вы говорите. Просто, по-моему, чуть начали просто разговаривать не особо громко, поэтому вам кажется, что плохо слышно. Не будь орать, как будто это футбол там. Арсен, проходит по левой линии, бежать! Не футбол.
Number one.
Замочку бак нашел, говорит. Могу тебе замочить.
To go the distance.
Но я могу поесть.
Бабка не знали?
В натуре.
Да.
Denied the
Да, оказывается, это не он новый, оказывается.
Ну, а колхозник говорит правильно. Бро, как хочу, так и говорю.
Стана Аризон, походу, тоже вышел хэллоуинский
Может, не
пас.
на уроке английского языка, где правильно произносить. Есть ограничения на пик персонажей, но против всех можно. Просто гиперзаряд нельзя изучить. Сити там подокидался клоунов? Ну, может быть. Кто знает.
Бус.
Но перса нельзя. Ну, пофиг, тебе можно хорошо выйти пик. Чуть-чуть. Так ее даже в игре нет. Как ты ее возьми? Она не отображается в драфте. Алло, клон.
finish. This would be a downgrade from last year to go top 8. They cannot let it slip now. It all comes to a head here on double swoosh, set number 5.
People have been saying these demigods are Crazy Raccoon.
Все, короче, смотрите, пока меня не будет, я отойду на пару. Все. Если что, донаты пришли, не переживай. Кто донат кидал, они пришли, у меня 18 рублей.
Actually, this one, no exception. Double swoosh coming up for our last map. Amber's open, Gene also available, and quickly, Gene snapped up.
Gene typically a must ban on this map. The fact that it's been left open is definitely a statement here.
You've got to be crazy, right?
Surely, I mean, into the Gene, you can't get blasted away, but it's going to run out of those after some time.
Yeah, Lamp Blowout only has 3 charges unless you have gear. Crazy Raccoon, do they succumb to the new hotness, to this new era of Brawl Stars, and pick up the Kenji here to try and get themselves into the semi-final? No, Surge is going to be the answer. They're allowing a Kenji pick potentially from Elevate. Can this be exploited in the draft?
Totally can, especially if you go for spawnables out here. Stuff that soaks up Surge's damage is going to be his major weakness. And Elevate can totally sneak up on one of these lanes, but it's going to be a tall task because Surge, as a brawler, he's slow. He's going to benefit a lot from these bushes because he's going to be equipping a speed here out here to help him out. That'll allow him to encroach on the left side and be super, super stealthy, maybe even get a few taps off on Luffy. They're also going to pick up Tara. Oh, they know the Surge's shortcomings. They're picking up the key thing to play on the lane against him.
That is terrifying. We've already seen it once earlier today from SK Gaming. A devastating side laner with ridiculous damage at close range and a hypercharge that just makes her super bigger. It's a very good super. One of the best supers, in fact. It grabs everyone, sucks them in, especially if there's a gem carrier caught in that gravity. It's curtains for them. And of course, the Kenji, as expected, picked up.
Kenji is going to be feeding this Tara big time though. Should be able to slash through all of those spawnables, so actually possible for CT Tampo to go for a psychic enhancer over here, reveal all of those bushes. If they find that knowledge to be quite valuable over here. Also going to be feeding that Surge, definitely a dangerous prospect. So Elevate decides to... Oh, Janet is coming out to play. And Janet has the potential to also scout up the bushes because of her gadget and also a star power swap if she wants to sacrifice the time that it takes for a shot to focus in exchange for vision on those bushes when she's super slow.
That is fascinating. That's right, stage view will allow her to reveal bushes around herself while she is flying. Also, if she were to come across the gems somehow, she'd be dominant, be able to keep them away. Draco picked up for Crazy Raccoon. What a pick!
Definitely unusual. You almost never, ever see this. He should have some survivability against this Kenji, though. We talk about what are Kenji's actual counters? Well, in a word, tanks, but anything with huge self-preservation abilities. And in close range, this Draco can totally prevail. He has a gadget that'll keep him alive on 1 HP for a pretty serious duration against the Kenji.
Also, his super will heal him if he has the right star power, which means he can take a bunch of damage and still be a relevant threat. Elevate, have they walked into a hard counter to the Kenji? So only one way to find out. Help from beyond cleared pretty quickly by those Janet shots. Zeus and RBM grouping up, giving up the left-hand side because they know they can't deal with Draco with the bushes.
CT Tampo also playing on this right side instead of the expected left. Zeus is going to get some scouting around the left. Definitely running that +1 to make sure he has a few more gadgets at his disposal. Knows that Tenside's coming up, but doesn't have the damage to actually dispel it. Tenside gets free positioning.
Right, Tenside dives in, not able to stay alive, not inclined to use the last stand gadget or didn't have the opportunity. Regardless, it's Elevate now with an advantage. A slim one though as Moyo evens the score. Remember, this Tara Super can break open the bushes on this right side of the map, make it dangerous for Elevate to play there. Tensai again goes for the gadget. This time it pays off. Zeus must take to the skies after recovering some gems.
Got some pretty decent value on this CT Tampo.
Если что, награды приходят задержкой. Вы не переживайте, но награды придут.
But at the same time, falls to Moya. All 7 gems on the field belong to Crazy Raccoon.
Если вы так боитесь за свои награды, не переживайте, они придут.
Control though, given up by Elevate here, and they're behind by 4 gems. Magic hand on Shitapo. He does use a shield, but it's broken. Zeus able to push up now. Luffy needs to get aggressive. He needs to find Moya. Where is the Tara?
They know she's on the back left somewhere. RBM's gonna try and scout it out. No contact. Luffy has an idea. Moya's revealed himself. Can't push through CT Tampo on the left side unless they risk giving the super. Luffy's gonna use all those. Super in, right on top of Tensai. Super from Moya. At mid, RBM's still alive. It's him and Zeus. But this next gem belongs to Moya. They will be able to take down Tensai and pinch. Moya cannot take it, and he's forced to back up.
Now map control gets pretty critical here. That's why the Kenji goes aggressive. Luffy deep. Chitapo able to use the super to avoid the damage, though when RBM plays back. That's the gem that's... Luffy's going to come forward now, but it's a countdown. 10 seconds left, but RBM is felled by the surge. Luffy's going to go in, but there is no shot, no hope. And Crazy Raccoon will take the first game.
This Draco was pivotal for
for Crazy Raccoon actually spawned for a pretty serious duration. And as a result, Moya can just sit back and mid, farm up some of those gems on the Tara, and he's practically unpushable in close range. As Tara, you're going to be locking in so much damage when all three of those cards hit, and you're going to be getting super and hypercharge as a result.
As Kenji is struggling, Luffy having a tough time, trying to get through these layers of obstruction. Draco, Tara, Surge, all of them problematic to deal with. Tensai realizes not worth to use the gadget there, so Luffy gets his. Boombox is annoying. Will reveal the bush for a time, which Sitafa quickly nips that one in the bud.
He's trying to use his wide slash to get some damage on CT Tampa without risking feeding him super. Feels like inevitability. Tensai on the backside. Pretty serious damage on RBM, but the gadget expires before he can lock the kill.
Magic hand available here for the G. Moya spotted their vision gear, of course, up. What a dodge away from that Tara super. Luffy's able to get 2 gems to his name. Tensai, though, will survive. Low, Luffy comes in with super. Tensai finds 2, but RBM scoops up the gems and gets out with 6.
Oh, pulls the shade. He went for it, but Moya had the support from beyond ready to go. Luffy's gonna try and push him now, but has to be aware of the positioning of Tensai. Forced to go in, but he's got a super now. The damage on Moya. There's 1 slash. There's 2. All the way to the back. Doesn't matter if he dies, but he still has fed the hypercharge and the super to Moya.
Hook there, Shitapo caught out again. Now map control for Elevate. Help from beyond pops so Moya can dodge any potential supers from the Gene. Here's Zeus lighting the map up. Tensai mostly being ignored, and Moya is down to 762. Almost catching on was Luffy, but now Tensai.
Все, Crazy Raccoon проходит в полуфинал. Все, Crazy Raccoon в полуфинале.
Ну так ловится.
Crazy Raccoon в полуфинале. Поздравляем команду. Выход в полуфинал.
All-Stars of Brawl Stars advance once more to top 4 for a second attempt at a grand final. Last time, they were bested by the team that took it all. Once more, they can manifest themselves into that position. Another stab at being world champions.
Speaking of stabs, Tensai on the Draco. Oh man, it was fun to watch. Nigh unkillable, literally unkillable with that with that gadget available rather. Elevate made it close, but a couple of stumbles. You've got to feel in that last round they let the game devolve into a bit of a scrap fest on that right-hand side of the map. Luffy getting caught in a couple of those Tara supers. That was a big difference. You see Crazy Raccoon, they wanted to play against the Kenji. They wanted to play some old school brawl. And old school is the good school here.
Блин, хороший
And
Crazy
Elevate just
Raccoon был.
flunked the class.
Elevate хорошо показали себя.
Tensai over
3-2.
here, 10 kills for the guy. Penetrated that right side, became a massive issue. And RBM had to play an untraditional position because typically it would be around mid. He is the mid brawler. He is the gym carrier, but he couldn't safely reside in that area with Moya and Site Tampo alternating between that left side where he's so vulnerable to being flanked from the bushes. So on that right side, he's now forced to lane against Tensai, who has simply too much help to really face.
And let's throw it back to the draft here.
Им
It's a
претензий
G
нет.
pick straight away from Elevate, right? That's their first. Their surge picked up a Crazy Raccoon. They know they let the Kenji through the drafts. And my goodness, how scared must you be of the Draco and the Surge if you are picking a Janet to try and reveal the right side of the map with that boombox? A very unorthodox pick here, and you can see Elevate were looking for options because they felt like in a pitch battle, or if they walked into those bushes, there was no way they were going to win.
We saw situations where Janet was actually using the super instead of for scouting to just escape, especially against a 1 HP Draco that was such a serious threat with that gadget. We saw numerous situations where Draco was looking to pick up a couple of kills here and only fell at the final couple of moments there. That is how much of an issue this selection was for Elevate. And we see Crazy Raccoon, despite their complaints about how this is going as far as which brawlers are most powerful, they're not too good for it at all.
I mean, they play Draco. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not really old school, in fairness. But what a game we get. We start off the day with a 5-set banger. This one was no different. But now we must bid farewell to the final remaining North American delegates here at the Brawl Stars World Finals 2024, leaving only APAC and EMEA as the regions left to fight for it. And my goodness, that battle between Reply Totem and Rival Esports could set us up for EMEA versus APAC finals. If Rival can make it through, that is a big if. That if is doing Olympia level lifting. But we have an incredible game on the docket still to look at here. Real quick, what are your thoughts? Reply Totem, Rival Esports has been a crazy day.
We see Reply Totem just barely make it to the stage, the last seed in the EMEA. They get all the way through LCQ against Rival Esports, a huge underdog in their match yesterday, managed to trounce their EMEA competitors, and they can look to do it again.
Crazy Raccoon have survived the quarterfinals once more and awaiting their opponent. It's going to be Reply Totem versus Rival Esports to decide our last semi-finalist. One more match for the day for the Brawl Stars World Finals Day 2. Don't go anywhere. It's bound to be a blockbuster.
The 2024 Brawl Stars World Finals are brought to you by ESL, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Once upon a brawl, a new evil emerged. A handsome young prince who once charmed crowds, now fallen to darkness, his smile but a shroud. A mischievous feeling, known for his cute paws, now a master thief, unlocked chests and doors. A healing guitar and a friendly face, now a flaming scar.
Если что, не переживайте, донаты все пришли.
Delicious cookie baker, one
Потому
of the
что
best.
у меня с VPN
Now
донаты
a
не
haunted
приходят.
castle,
Забыл.
a ghoulish guest. This automaton once served juice. Now with his sword, your head he'll make loose. A night turned into a nightmare. None in keep, now only one to skip. fairy tale ending. No, a scary tale beginning.
The Brawl Stars World Finals. We're gearing up for our final match of the day. But Trav, what an incredible journey it has been to this point. 2 games that have gone the distance and just had my heart in my mouth. What did we just witness? It's the end of any hope. But I mean, you've got to hand it to Elevate. For 2 out of the 3 to have their first World Finals and pitch against Crazy Raccoon to come that close? Unreal.
Yeah, no, Elevate absolutely played the hearts out and provided some unbelievable gameplay. So sad to see them knocked out here in day 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals. I really wish we could have seen them go that little bit further.
It could have been, honestly, another incredible upset for day 2. We've already seen the world champs go out on the first game of the day. It's just been the gift that keeps on giving. 2024 is at an all-time high.
It really is. Like, it's been so dangerous, and you know, we're not stopping there. We've got another absolute banger up next where APAC, I say after APAC provided that kind of gameplay, they better hope that they get another representative a little bit further on, otherwise they might be having some issues in that region as well as NA, but they are obviously up against Reply Totes, which is such a strong matchup.
It's set to be a massive banger for me. Certainly Reply Totem are that team which just had a really abysmal year, but they are now at a really strong place, and similar to SK Gaming, I've got to say they've got a lot of loud voices in their crowd. They are that momentum team, and they've got people cheering for them.
Yeah, these EU teams have had such a strong showing from their audience, from the audience in general, I will say, because they just have so many representatives, fans who come out and support them, and you know, you don't understand until you're on that stage how far that can go. Having the backing of the entire crowd really gets you through those tough moments, motivates you through the hard times, and it is a big thing for both of these teams to have this backing.
In terms of our predictions, so far, so good. I mean, we differed a little bit, but I think that first match was very much a 50-50 though, Trav. I mean, I didn't blame you for it.
We almost just got another loss handed to all 5 of us, I will say as well. A double match point from Crazy Raccoon versus Elevate as well. Luckily enough for us at least, Crazy Raccoon did manage to pull through. But me and Ready Set, we started obviously with the Zeta division, which didn't go our way, but genuinely that could have gone either way, and so could that last game as well.
I have yet to get a prediction wrong. Just putting that out there. Uber, I think, very much as well. This is where we differ as well. Uber's been definitely, flying the Rival Esports banner since we basically arrived in Helsinki, Finland, and I didn't blame him for it. I was certainly there yesterday, and didn't quite get to catch the games themselves, but nonetheless, I think this squad have got something special. They could cause another huge upset. We know what the EMEA region can bring to the table. And for Rival Esports, going back to 2019 with Rio, I mean, we really are going back in time somewhere in this match.
We are. I mean, Rival Esports, they've had they've come in second seed from the APAC region, obviously only being topped by the Crazy Raccoon roster that we have just seen. So they've been, pretty consistent to be able to get through this through points. Reply Totem, not the same story. He's 6th in the MEA, only just squeezing into the LCQ spot. They've been pretty smooth sailing from there, I will say. Had a few hiccups back and forward, obviously throughout the year, not making qualifications and going out early on. They had that one rugby final that really pushed their points up and got them in the position to get where they are now, to bring this incredible match. So I think we have another in the semi-finals to make that 3. Or APAC are going to have an APAC semi-final as well as a European.
Melting Shoe, this is their first World Finals. For Milbury, this is his 3rd, and I've got to mention as well, Reply Totem's set win percentage is abysmal. It's the lowest of any team in the World Finals at 27%. It was definitely a rough year in the monthly finals streaks. They went out in the quarterfinals 3 times, they didn't qualify for a monthly final. That grand finals victory, which they got, I've got to say, I say every time, it absolutely saved them. But as you rightly say, the LCQ was far better for them. Being able to really get some fantastic results there and knock out Tribe Gaming. I mean, that really was a commendable feat, and we didn't necessarily know how they were going to fare yesterday, but they looked really good.
I mean, it is one of the main selling points of Reply Totem. That's the whole thing, right? This LAN experience. So Reply Totem, Chaos alone has like 19 LAN appearances, qualified to all 6 World Finals, 5 of them. So him alone has accolades to rival any pretty much team to completion. But add Maru, add Mori to that, and they are just that really well-rounded roster when it comes to the lineup.
And in terms of the drafts, we were quite surprised yesterday when we kind of saw some of these brawlers that we hadn't seen for a long time coming out of the woodwork, bringing in Maisie. We were like, whoa, what's going on here? And it actually worked out phenomenally well. So, I mean, you've got to bear those things in mind. The draft is so instrumental to victory. We've seen that today, and how teams can topple and falter when that's not quite in place. For Reply Totem, when you look back to their year and the struggles which they've had, to now be coming in at what I feel is their best performance to date, it's very commendable. But for Rival Esports, they are an underdog somewhat. But I think actually, Reply Totem on paper should be the underdog in this story. And that's not been the case from what we've seen. I think for Rival Esports, for many that have not really been following their journey this year, they're not necessarily looking like the hot one in this prediction, in my opinion. But I think they could surprise many of us, and this could be one that goes all the way to a fifth and final set.
I do think it will. It's a 50-50 matchup in my eyes. Rival Esports yesterday against Eternal Fire especially was so good, so strong, managed to sweep them quite simply, I will say as well. Not really that much resistance from Eternal Fire in that one matchup. So Rival Esports, if you just look at the regular seasons, as you say, you'd expect them to come into this one as the favourites. But you've got to look at the LCQ run from Reply Totem. They're dominant against so many teams and had an amazing day yesterday.
We can take a look back as well at how today is fared in terms of the bracket to revise the memory as well, because honestly, if you are just joining the stream, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but we are approaching our last match of the day. Going back to the very beginning, it was Zeta Division, the world champions who fell to SK Gaming in two incredibly clutch back-to-back bounty moments. Honestly, one that I will look back over time and time again. That made Brawl Esports history for sure. Humble versus Pioneers, the trap. That was a complete stomper.
Напишите в чат, кто смотрит.
Really wasn't that close at all. Humble had the drafts, they had the gameplay, they had the mentality. Everything went right for them and everything went wrong for Pioneers. But I've got to say, that SK Gaming versus Zeta Division has got to be the best, or at least my favourite game of the day. I'm sure you'd probably agree, looking at it from a standpoint viewer perspective, as we both were. That last game was incredible as well.
It's been such an enjoyable day, and it's great that we've still got one more match to come. You can hear it behind me. The crowd is starting to go wild. Let's head over to Banks to introduce the teams.
These matches are separating the men from the boys here at Superfest, and this next match is your last quarter-final of the day. So with that being said, Superfest, make some noise! Almost getting there, it's nice. This next match will decide the lineup for Championship Sunday. So, first up are your dark horse of the competition, securing their spot in the quarterfinals with a victory over Eternal Fire. From APAC, it's Milcrio, Melty, and Shu. They are Rival Esports. Their opponents are an EMEA powerhouse with 4 World Championship appearances. It is Maru, Mori, and iChaos. They are Reply Totem!
Trav, the final match of the day. The number 6 seed, rather, in the EMEA region, going up against Rival Esports, the number 2 in the APAC region. This is going to be a spicy one. There's no way around it.
It really is. I mean, a quarter of the entire crowd alone are chanting for Totem Esports, possibly even half back there as well. They've got so much support behind them, and the same can't be said for Rival. They've got a few fans dotted around here and there, but this is setting up for it to be a Reply Totem win if you're listening to the crowd.
When you've got that much support behind you and everything you do is cheered upon, it's got to count for something. Rival Esports certainly a tough one ahead of them. The Milk Rio going back as far as the 29 2019 World Finals, where he gained second place with Animal Champuru, just coming shy of that Nova Eagles victory. Of course, for him today, I'm sure many memories coming back to mind as well, that it was not so victorious going back to 2020, where they exited the quarterfinal stage as Jupiter before they rebranded to State Division. That was his last World Finals appearance. So to join this squad, for those that have got their first World Finals appearance here today, he has
Последний матч, ребят.
Yeah, but he's an absolute character as well. When he was walking out just now, I'm sure you guys saw it as well. He was like doing some really odd walkout, a lot of energy behind that man, and that alone can motivate the team in itself. When you've got the front man, and I hate to mention them here, Tribe Gaming, when Zulan starts stepping up, the whole team does as well, and that might be the same for Rival Esports with Military. But Reply Totem, let's focus down on this roster. We've talked about them a lot already. Maru, iChaos, and Mori, three incredible players and absolute land demons.
For iChaos as well, this will be his 5th World Finals, and no surprise there that his favourite brawler is Rico, because that is really one that I feel like Rival Esports might be looking to ban. And if they're not, they probably should be, because it's one of those select picks that you just really got to keep your eye on. He finds every single angle imaginable. Maru, this is their 4th World Finals also. They are very accomplished in this position and very comfortable as well. Going into the LCQ, big question marks as to how they were going to fare, in all honesty. Just really looking lively. They've just been really taking it to the next level ever since then, and they've kind of yet to slow down in that regard. That's a scary prospect for Rival Esports.
And a big one for the caster predictions as well. I believe it's only Ark or Uber who can go flawless today and yesterday, and they have differing opinions. Ark is obviously going for the Reply Totem side with the rest of the casters and the public, but Uber staying firm with the Rival Esports big victory, seeing the praises of all weekend long.
There is a lot of tense feeling here on the casting distance, I'm sure, no doubt, there on the player podiums. The crowd setting themselves in for what is set to be an absolute spectacle. The Reply Totem
predictions, it was 63% to Reply Totem, 37% to Rival Esports, so not that far apart. We're starting things off in center stage in Brawl.
I think, to be honest, not a unfair prediction, actually. For Rival Esports, I feel like they've got a lot to show, and no doubt will dig deep when it comes to these drafts. Quite a balanced one, I feel. To go in to center stage, the band's already in for Reply Totem, the Stu, the Nita, and the Otis. The Rival Esports, they do not want the Kenji or the Frank or the Mo. I think we've kind of seen far too much of Kenji slipping through this weekend, so I don't mind it at all. Certainly though, the Rico is open, the Vision gear is...
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, they're two very similar brawls if you think about it, with the leveling up mechanics. Once you get to level 3 for Surge and obviously level 3 for Clancy, you're playing on pretty level playing fields. But we do see the Squeak roll in after that as well. With the Fat Splatter, you're able to kind of slow things down. Reply Totem and something that iChaos is very... and then have the shield to be able to walk in as many goals as you'd like. But over the other side, we still have one pick left for Rival Esports. It's going to have to be a good one to be able to counteract these tanks in this absolutely amazingly well-rounded roster that Reply Totem have brought to the table. But it is going to be Gale, a bit of a tank counter in as well. Add that to the Surge, and Rose is going to be having a hard time.
I love it. I really do love it. Gale was wide open from the beginning, but there was no reason to necessarily go into picking it. But that Rosa was not kind for Reply Totem in the way that the coin toss landed with things. It just left a good counter option for Rival. Now that you've got the Surge and the Gale into that Rosa pick, I feel like the Clancy needs to really pop off early on, try to get those stacks as quickly as possible, get the additional range, the additional speed, and of course that additional shot factor in the thick of things. Gadget there, the left-hand side, already making some good work on Reply Totem, but Maru has pushed forwards. A good gadget there from Melty, but look at that slow. The unfriendly pushes off the Rosa just left. Rival Esports so susceptible to damage. And look at this, pushing the ball forwards, and he's taken a great twister, and Maru can't get the ball.
What a stop, but now that's gone, and Melty is back, still level 1, passed the ball to himself, another mistake in there as well, wasted some ammo, and Maru will clean that up quite nicely. Not too much pushback from Rival so far, as Reply Totem seems to have all control of the map. A Super Veil to the right-hand side from Orion, already leveled up once as well. Not the best of stuff for Rival Esports, and things need to do. Oh, a snooker from Chaos. We said watch out for it, and this is why.
Look at this! A complete and the rival esports build up some kind of a response here? Start to have something more of a back and forth. It looked a little bit too easy. We said coming in, to be honest, that Chaos should really have been shut down with that Rico pick. Rival esports left it wide open and they're probably regretting that right now.
Pushed for just that. Rival esports needs to start picking things up. Into the game we go once more.
Остановись, все заднее.
Там, короче, тотем тащит еще. Просто не знаю, что-то не грузит у меня.
Barry quickly taken down. Chaos trying his best, but it wasn't enough. Rival esports put one on the board.
Answering back in the best way. Some more confidence coming through from Rival Esports, but Reply Totem still seem to me at least in control. The map was pretty much covered by them for the entirety, but a couple breakaway goals for Rival Esports bring it back even in set one.
Again, that residue on the left-hand side, forcing Totem to the right. Now Chaos back, and Friendly Bush is connecting there with Shu as well. That's melting that right. Milbury, a second gadget there from Rowe as well, and it gets an equal effect. Will push the ball forwards. I think it's the right play here. Chaos just trying to look at that pitch between himself and Maori to get Melty, who survives on 76 HP.
Not going to get the kills as Mori and Chaos both survive. Maru coming through now, and Melty has to jump on him, but that might be a waste. And that's surely level 3 gone, but he picks up the left-hand side and stops the pass through. Shu's there to defend, but Maori almost level 3 in under a minute. Just a few more shots and he'll be at that stage, evading a few shots from Surge now, but scouted up by Shu eventually.
Mirabeau has the chance there to use another gadget, but he's holding back for now. Shu falls. Now the super connects, but it doesn't really find much of the Chaos. He walks into it, if anything, 68 HP for Milgrio, and Totem's going to slow down the pace yet again. They want to make sure they land the mark as Maori now max stacks on this Kazi, and he has his Chaos. Hypercharge going in, he buys one. Milgrio's the second ball, and it's a complete team.
Ну ладно, тотем красавцы, молодцы.
Totem, a goal, and only 1 minute remaining.
Выключи сетку.
Chaos does the job once more, but here comes the hypercharge from Melty. Might be able to find a few connections. One available from Maru as well, and Friendly Bush is used, slowing a couple of the rival members in their tracks. 55 seconds to get the job done. Melty slowed down by the hypercharge of Rosa. Now the super comes through from Mori in this level 3, providing so much value.
Melty under scrutiny. Maru comes in at the perfect time. Oh, what a pitch between Maru and Chaos. Shu, a nice knockback, going to buy some valuable time, but it's rivals that are still behind. They've got to get out of this spawn. They've got to get out of the map, get some takedowns at the goal. In 30 seconds, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. Super going to be missed there on the left-hand side from Milcreo too. They need to push out on Maru, who's there waiting for them. Twister Youth blocks up that avenue, but Chaos picks up the mid. Now leaves it in a 2v3, and Shu and Milcreo have got a lot of work to do, especially with Maru. Last option with level 3, but it's not going to be enough as Reply Totem secure the first set.
The air is electric. Reply Totem fans rejoice for the first set in the bank. Rival esports just didn't really seem too connected. In that instance in Brawl, they just felt like they were behind for the majority of things. A couple of breakaway goals in that second game, but an important set to win for Reply Totem. That early momentum is surely going to be very much now in their favour.
Sports not able to match that same energy, as they were pretty much pinned in the spawn for the majority.
I mean, Chaos got 2 kills more than the entirety of Rival Esports' kills combined. That says to me a big story. 354 HP as well. I mean, literally coming into the match, said, you got to ban Enrico if you're looking down the barrel of Chaos. And look at that, the results spoke for themselves. I mean,
Maybe just didn't take it into account, thought they could handle it, and I'm sure they'll be Thinking better of that idea now. We're going on to Kaboom Canyon in Heist as the second set. Will Totem extend their lead, or will Rival Esports close that gap and make it 1-1? Heist is the game mode we will be doing it on, so we'll see if that aggression from Reply Totem is going to remain and win them this second set.
Certainly, for me, a tough game mode to have as your second set. The one that you've got in the bag already on the side of Reply Totem. Can chuck potential. That might be where they're thinking with that idea to have something solid on a defense, but certainly, if you're left in that lower stage of Classy, you really are a bit of a sitting duck and open to a lot of ranged ideas. Colt, for me especially, a big heavy hitter. Gale jump pad strat into the middle of the map, potentially here coming through, and a good heavy tank counter for Rival Esports. Don't know whether I'm a massive fan of it myself.
Yeah, I'm not loving that from Rival Esports, I will say. The Lola adding to it as well, going to be able to bring some good DPS and the ability to tank some shots from the Clancy as well with that ego and freeze frame if that's what they choose to go with. But the Gale, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not feeling it too much. It's going to work. It's fine. It's good against tanks. It's a good preventative measure. But Reply Totem still have a long way to go through their draft, and they can just pivot off any ideas they wanted to go with tanks. They're going to go with the Piper, and I mean, that's going to be pretty good against the Gale. Once the ego's down, Lola might have some legs, but in the early game, Piper's going to thrive.
Tough to play with the Lola though as well, with the ego, certainly if Reply Totem can break that mid early on, and that Lola's going to have a great time with the vision gear, obviously, as a result of that pick from the side of Rival Esports. So I think for the side of Reply Totem, they're going to want to open up as much as possible, but with Kenji now, into the game, it's going to be very hard to make it work. I mean, certainly, I think a couple of these brawlers maybe counteracting one another. That's a brawl that I much prefer. I'm starting to side more with Rival Esports here. I think that Melody pick was the one that maybe Reply Totem should have considered a bit more. We haven't seen the best of win rates for Kenji on Heist. And it's one of those brawlers that, yes, it is exceptionally good, but is the best mode for it on Heist.
It kind of seems like Reply Totem are going to be banking on the Kenji assassinate a lot of these brawls and getting the real kind of tickle-down damage that Piper's going to do to the safe, whereas Rival Esports have the Melody available and can go to that safe and get damage along with the Lola as well. Already, Melty on 800 HP and Mori getting some good shots towards those stacks. Maru walking in a straight line towards the safe and Milk Rail alike. He gets a bit of damaging. Gadget going to be used, but Melody should be there to be able to assist. Super used, gets some good shots, and actually picks up the kill too.
Staying in position for Maru, so important, and healing up now, allowing Chaos to get some good taps from the mid onto the safe. Rival Esports trying to scoot on through on that right-hand side, as Shu just juking, trying to connect with the safe, now finally on it. The damage coming through, just a little bit though, 10%, but not done yet. Now Milkrow, now Melty, this is starting to flow. Maru needs to come back in this scenario.
Yeah, I love the base race idea from Rival Esports, just a shame for them that the Melody couldn't live a little bit longer with the help from the Gadget. Nice push back there, gets damage on both Mori and Maru. Chaos, the only one healthy, and here come Rival. Big damage rolling down. Shu needs a super to be able to add some to the mix, but Lola does enough herself. Good little knockback there with the auto-aimer of Chaos. And Shu shouldn't be far off some more aggression with only 39 on the safe. This could be done with one more Rival push.
Totem fans are starting to rise up. It might be enough. Let's see. Chaos needs to tap here realistically here. Shu coming in with a nice amount of HP. The Reply Totem safe. It's on 18 HP. They need to go on the aggressive, but they've got to clear up the first. Melty down to 800 HP. Maru going on the aggressive. There's so much more still needing to be done.
There you go. so low in that second game. Everything could have been different, but what a play by Maury, and what plays, I should say, by Maury in this third game. Coming away with 5 stars in the end of it, managed to get Melty picked up there as well and get the retreat and the win for Reply Totem. In terms of stars, or kills I should say, Chaos was 7. So much for being one of the worst brawls in the game, because here, he proved his worth.
A number of times I did feel like if it had been another brawler, there could have been more to the tally, let's be honest. But that additional healing really did play a valuable role. And just keeping everyone afloat, being able to go on the aggressive in correlation to that. I mean, I know that Snake Prairie for some of the communities not their favourite, you know, and I'm sure for some of the players, well, not necessarily theirs. But I found that very entertaining, I can't lie.
Love it. I love a bit of Snake Prairie. I will argue with anybody on that statement as well. Out in the open on Knockout could be our deciding game, as Reply Totem just 1 set away from victory and the semi-finals. But Rival Esports will need 2 on the trot if they want to be able to get themselves that next round ahead.
I can't vouch. You have always loved Snake Prairie. You know, it's not just words. I've known you a long time and you've always said the same thing. Right then, bans are in. The first pick of Gene for Reply Totem, the bans, the Kenji, the Brock, and the Nanny. For Rival Esports, the Piper, the Angelo, and the Gus. Gus ban, really quite an underrated one, but one that I think is very much necessary here. Gonna leave open some heavy hits still for me. I like the Pearl pick later on down the lines to combine with that Gene. Might be on the idea there for Reply Totem. Certainly some long range available. Artie springs immediately to mind as one of those that could be on the cards for Rival Esports. And the second follow-up still to come, but good on both sides so far.
Yeah, I mean, Pearl, it's a great shout. It fends off tanks and pairs well with that Gene as well. So either side could be pretty happy to pick up that brawler, I'd say. Got that decent mid-range. They're going to go with the Bell, however. Want to take the sharpshooter route, and obviously bouncing in these kind of later stages or early stages reveals where they are in the bushes and keeps players low. I really like that brawler. Mark up some tanks and it makes it a lot easier too if that's the route Reply Totem go.
Reply Totem fans stomping in the arena at the moment is causing a bit of an earthquake here on the casting desk, and I love it. I really do love it. When the Brawl community get rowdy is what I live for, Trav. Let's see what they're thinking. Maru in deep thought there, and it is going to be that Pearl combo. I really do like it here on Out in the Open. But certainly it does really come into some troubles against a Buster. They're going to be going with the Byron to get the heals in, but for me, if I'm Rival Esports, go with the Buster. It's going to be really, really hard for Reply Totem to go on the aggressive when they've got that charging their way forwards.
But also, even if they do just take another long-range brawler, they've kind of got the lead in the range as well. You know, against the Pearl who doesn't really do that much at range, and Byron who's more of a healer than a damage dealer at range. It's definitely not the worst of shouts to go with something like that, and it is going to be the Eve. I don't love it, I don't hate it. Obviously the ability to walk over the water gives you a bit of an advantage over the left hand side early on, but you know, if you can get that broken up with a Pearl Super or something like that, then that could work.
Gear. I think for Rival Esports, they do have to heavily consider that Pearl pick and whether they go on the aggressive quickly to try to eradicate it.
Well, slow off the start for both teams here, just trying to kind of pepper each other down. A little reverse polarity from Melty. Will go bouncing around the map, but not find anybody just yet. A Byron shot connects with Shu, and he does have to retreat back over that water. Maru trying to make the most of this burn down damage from the gadget, but didn't find anything from it.
Nice gadget there from Melty. Does find Maru, who has the shield now, but certainly not in the best of spots at the moment on the back lines there in the bush, but now pushing their way forwards. It's like Chaos getting some nice taps there. That top right, shoot down to 1,300 HP there. Maru there pops a nice overcooked, and Melty might even burn down here, going to survive just about, but forced back. He's going to land this mark, and Maru would be an ideal target, but Maori keeps up the aggression, keeping him low.
Yeah, Chaos Tap's doing so much. Melty starting to be able to heal, but that's cut short. Milkrao's so low. Shu the only one really with some decent HP, but that's not going to matter either. As Reply Totem take this first round, 3 players up to the 0 of Rival.
Maori has the ball as well. Now, can hunker down, supply some nice healing along the way. Try and secure Melty before he gets the mark off onto Maru. Look, Rio is definitely a hazard that Maru would like to avoid. If they've got the support, an ideal person to get rid of early now. Here comes the overcooked from Maru, and big, heavy taps, that left-hand side. We can go 3 versus 2, Chaos bouncing his tasks into the mid, keeping Melty low, magic hand from Maori. The reply throws for making it look so straight forward. The game is there, and it's now match point.
6 kills to the 0 of Rival Esports. Something needs to change if you want to see a set 5, because 2 games in a row have to be theirs to be able to fend off Reply Totem and take them to a set number 5. Well, so far, it's all Totem caught off guard by Maru twice, and that was the entry to both of those games.
Certainly a great deal of pressure. Now Maori low goes down. Nice hacks gadget there from Milkweed to secure it. Low himself. Will he fall to here? I guess falls down to Maori. Just going to try to earn a super, I assume here. Can't really do much more. Doesn't want to feed. But the gas still so far away. He'll fall now. And round goes away a Rival.
Rival aren't done yet. Eve Hatchling's going to be available as well when Shu wants to bring them in. Might be able to gain some ground from that against Chaos too. But Maury's pinch is there early on. They're now thrown down and evading these shots nicely. Vengeful Spirits only shoots 1 out. But Shu, not in the best of positions and forced to jump away. Now the Hatchlings come in and Rivals just gain some ground.
Another Hatchling looking that much of an issue for Maori. Maori is forced back, however. That melty mark again still needs to find its place. Being very patient in that regard on the side of Rival. Oh, look at this. Intense scrutiny there. And Shu will fall. He'll burn down in the middle of the jump. Maru coming in now, keeping Milk Rio back. This is a prime opportunity for Reply to open the strike. Missed magic hand from Maori. It's an unusual sight to see.
Yeah, Melty goes down and Milk Rio should be following shortly after, unless he can pull off the most miraculous 1v3 I've ever seen. Trying not to feed that gene pool. Ends up feeding a good amount of Maru's super instead. 1 round now is all Totem need.
This round place in tomorrow's semi-finals for Reply Totem. This is a huge moment that Milk Rio might have survived, 789 HP, and Maru's going to continue to push his left-hand side. Going to be tread cautiously here. Rival Esports are pushed into a corner now, and when you're in a corner, you can bite back hard.
Charge available for Melty. Going to be able to get that increase. Oh, pull comes in, gets on Shu, but he's not dead yet. Gets some good shots in. Melty starts to bounce out. He gets 1 and evens the score. Splash comes through, and Navarro gets hit. Totem on the brink of semis.
Just 1 more takedown, and Reply Totem will have done it. Melty is the sole survivor of Rival Esports and fighting for his life. Maori now showing him up again with that vision gear. It's just a matter of time, surely, for ICAOS and Maori to secure what they need to do. The gas now coming in. They've got the heals as well. It's surely going to go their way if they can just secure Melty.
Gas comes in. Shots being hit. Melty goes down. And Reply Totem go on.
Trending up their biggest test yet, and a 3-1 scoreline is how their quarterfinals goes. We have got, Trav, 3 teams from EMEA in the semi-finals. That is ridiculous.
But EMEA's biggest kryptonite is there with them. Laser Raccoon also making it that far. The APAC counterparts of Rival Esports. Reply Totem have knocked 1 out. Now going to be looking forward to try and take down APAC in entirety. But what great gameplay this was from Reply Totem. Pure brilliance all the way through this series.
What a fall there from Maori as well. Such a difficult brawler to land it on with the gotta go gadget on the Eve side of things. You know, you can dupe that accordingly. And even there, you know, the pressure can get to some even the very best in the world there.
Все, ребят, давайте увидимся завтра на финале Бравл Старса. Тотем прошли в полуфинал. Все, всех обнял, всем удачи, спасибо, всем пока.